So how did you get into terrorizing scammers?
That's a good question, man. I guess we have some time, so I don't have to give a short answer, right?
No,
So,
you don't. Okay. Do you have a plane that leaves today?
Yeah, but it's super late, so we'll be
cool.
fine.
Cool.
Yeah, like I was actually at this is funny, like my origin story, I guess, because when I think about it, you would think it's like some crazy kind of a thing. My grandma got scammed or somebody took a bunch of money or whatever, but I was actually at my brother-in-law's house and we were sitting there over dinner and he goes, "Hey, check this out." And I'm like, okay. I thought he's really into cars and stuff. So I'm like, I'm not a car guy, but he's like, I thought it was going to be cars. And he goes, "No, it's this guy that calls these scammers on the internet and he messes with them." And I was like, okay, I'll check it out because I'm a tech guy. So, it's kind of interesting to me. So I get on there and these guys are yelling at him and I'm like, this is chaos. It's beautiful. So I stayed up to like 4 a.m. watching these videos on YouTube of this guy calling scammers up. And then the next night I stayed up till 4 a.m. watching this guy call scammers up. And I had a cybersecurity background. So I was like, I could probably do this as well. And so I went home and I got a microphone and started calling scammers. I'd wake up at like 4 a.m, call scammers, and then I would do my job. Worked in cybersecurity for like a pre-IPO startup company. And then after I was done working, then I would call scammers at nighttime. And I did this like over and over again and started recording it, putting it on YouTube, and kind of the rest is history.
So you didn't do any YouTube stuff before this? You just decided to do it for fun on your own?
Yeah, it was like, everybody wants to be a content creator or whatever, but for me, I was really intrigued because this is my space. I had no idea that there's scammers out here doing all this stuff for whatever reason, because I was so into like enterprise security. So like nation state actors going after, hospitals and governments and stuff like that. So that was my world. And then there's this whole, I had no idea about it. There's this whole like consumer security side that nobody talks about ever. So people, grandma getting scammed, a kid in college gets a call up from the Social Security Administration, and then they end up wire transferring $35,000 to a scammer overseas. Or, everybody hears like the Nigerian prince and stuff like that. Yeah. But there's other really gnarly scams that are going on out there. And it's like a $10 billion industry and it's not going anywhere. So I had no idea about it. I found out about this and I'm like, this is so interesting. So I figured I would use my, my expertise, I guess, and my experience and utilize some of these enterprise security skills in this space and like go after it. And then, it was fun making content as well. And it just kind of blew up from there.
So before you started doing this stuff, you worked for a company that was like a government contractor or something like this?
So I worked for various like tech companies out of college. And one of them was Norton, or Symantec, which does the Norton antivirus. And so I worked in that space, with like antivirus and like they did backup, which is like enterprise backup systems. And then one of my mentors brought me into like email security. So essentially what we would do is protect governments, businesses, hospitals, you name it, any kind of company that wants to protect their networks and stuff from these phishing attacks. So there's like super sophisticated phishing attacks, like where they will target someone's LinkedIn, see what they like for college football and send them a targeted phishing attack, hack their computer, then they have access to the entire network. They could steal data, whatever it may be. So I was like super hyper focused on that. I moved over into kind of this startup security world. There's like so much money in startup, right? These pre-IPO companies at Silicon Valley they're just funneling billions into, startup and then they go IPO. So I was working in that space because it was super hot at the time. This was like 2012, 2013. And I was, kind of honing my craft. I was learning more about like what makes the world go in the security space because it was super interesting to me. Like for instance, when Target they had a huge data breach in 2013 and essentially hackers had gotten access to all their point of sale systems and they put malware on there and Target actually knew that there was malware, but they didn't know how to find it. There are so many things like, think of it like a Christmas tree with a bunch of lights on it and they didn't know which one to go for first. And the way that the hackers got in was they actually, and this is crazy to think about because we heard the story from the FBI, they got in through a third-party vendor. So they had a refrigerator vendor that had access in the Target stores and they hacked those guys to get into their network and they secured their way through that because those guys had access to their network.
That's genius.
Yeah.
An access agent.
Yeah. So like if you're known as a good guy inside of your network, then you can do nefarious things as a good guy. Right. So that's how they got to their point of sale. Anyway, I learned so many different things from hospital systems, even down here in Florida, that deal with insulin pumps. Somebody could hack them because they're connected to a network, and somebody could die from it. Or, obviously like nation states going after governments and things like that. Mm-hmm. We try to protect, the data of everybody out there, and there's just so much going on. So I learned a lot in the enterprise security space and just how crazy it was. And it's not a matter of, if, it's a matter of when. So I worked in this email security space, and I went to endpoint, which is like, a physical laptop, a phone. That's endpoint security. So how do you protect a phone from getting hacked? How do you protect a server from getting hacked? How do you protect a desktop from getting hacked? Because once they get on there, once a hacker gets on there, and we utilize a lot of this in our world now against scammers, you can hide yourself pretty well and nobody can find you. It doesn't matter what you have on that computer. Nobody can find you.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you now only make entertainment going after scammers, or do you actually like help anybody? Do you still help people at all, or no?
No. In 2020, I decided to kind of hang the boots up and just do content full time.
Right.
It was a big juggle because it's like you're 500,000 subscribers and you're growing and all these kinds of things and kind of starting to run a business on the weekends essentially. Right. And then you're doing your regular job. So it's too much work going on.
Oh yeah.
And I actually got kind of the turning point was I got a message from Jim Browning, who's another guy in the space. So Jim and then Mark Rober. I'm sure you know Mark Rober.
I've heard of him, yeah.
Another big YouTuber. And they had a project and they invited me on it where we were actually kind of like baiting these scammers into sending money mules out. And there's this whole like money laundering ring that goes on we can talk about.
Yeah.
And so we did a project with Mark where we sent glitter bombs to these money mules and it actually made its way and got somebody in Texas arrested. This lady got arrested. She was thinking she was collecting like $50,000 and she picked up a glitter bomb. She was in an Airbnb and she'd been collecting parcels or cash, boxes for like a week there. So she rents the Airbnb, she goes there, collects money, and then launders it somewhere else and gets a cut out of it. Wow. So we had like private eyes following people around, like high-speed car chases. When we talk about the money laundering that goes on, it's like a 9-figure problem in the US that like there's huge crime rings that we've uncovered.
Really?
From calling scammers overseas has led to some crazy stuff.
So how are these scammers overseas linked to organized crime in the US and who's laundering whose money?
Yeah, it's really crazy because it starts with like a phone call, right? Do you want me to go kind of through how the scam works itself?
Yeah.
So like traditionally the original scam was like a pop-up scam. So you're on your computer and you're surfing the web and all of a sudden you get this error code on your screen and it says it's Microsoft. There's a virus on your computer. You need to call support. Now the origin of this comes from there are call centers overseas in like India, for instance, and they were legitimate call centers, like help desk call centers where they help fix, computer problems and things like that. So I had an insider guy that I've talked with before, and he said, like, here's the thing. You have Nike shoes, for instance, and you scuff them up and you want to go get them fixed. You could go to Nike and it's going to be really expensive, or you could go to my shop on the corner and it'll be, 90% less than what it would be at Nike, if that makes sense.
Right.
So they started just being cheaper tech support. But then from there, they were like, well, what if we could force people to start coming to our support based off of a fake premise? So that's where these pop-ups started. So they would create pop-ups to go on people's computers. So there's some like a grandma surfing the web. She's on Facebook. These scammers have figured out ways to pretty much buy ad space and serve these pop-ups. There's malware on websites and stuff like that, but it'll serve these pop-ups. And then grandma gets a pop-up. She calls these scammers up. They tell her she has a virus on her computer. The problem is there's no virus. It's a trick. So they've told them it used to start with like, hey, you have a virus. We'll clean your computer for like $500.
Sure.
So that was like the original game. That's what they used to do. And then it evolved over the years. And this is like probably a multi-decade problem now. that this was just in the shadows. Nobody really ever talked about it. Then it evolved to, hey, we're the computer company. We're calling you up because we're actually going to refund you your money. We're going out of business. It sounds really crazy, but this is one of their best scams that they do. So they call up the grandma and they say, hey, we are Norton, for instance, or Amazon or PayPal. We're going out of business. We're going to refund you a charge on your account. So let's say it's like $300. So what they do is they connect onto grandma's computer and they're giving her a refund of her money back into her account. Right. So track with me here.
Right.
So $300 is supposed to go back in grandma's account.
Mm-hmm.
What they do is because they have access to the granny's computer, they can manipulate her screen. So she logs into her bank account. They have software on her computer.
They're like TeamViewer or something?
TeamViewer, a bunch of all these different remote tools. So they load like TeamViewer on there and they hide the screen so she can't see anything. And that $300 now becomes $30,000, however much she has in her account. They can manipulate the bank to look a certain way.
So they get her to log into her bank account?
Yep.
Got it. Okay.
And this is just for the refund purposes. They'll lie and say, hey, we don't see anything, but they see everything. Mm-hmm. So the trusting grandma that's like 83 years old, she's like, okay, you can have access to my $400,000 account, right? So they see that. And then they're like, okay, ma'am, no, we actually, instead of 300, we gave you 30,000 or 300,000. You need to actually give us that money back as soon as possible. And what they're doing is they're just like tricking the system and they're transferring money between like a savings and a checking account. Mm-hmm. So grandma goes to the bank, she takes out the 30,000, the 300,000, whatever the dollar amount is. And then she used these money launderers. So like the cash pickup I was talking about.
They convince them to drive to the local branch and pull out cash.
Yes.
That's insane.
And it's honestly unbelievable when you when I tell these stories back, it doesn't seem real. And we have like a lot of people in our videos, like in the comments where they say, it's like kind of like shaming somebody, like, how could you fall victim to that? But they sound preposterous, but it happens every single day. And granny's going to the bank and they're telling her, hey, lie to the bank and tell the bank branch that you're buying a house or you're buying a car or you're putting your kid in college or something.
Right.
And they're taking out huge amounts of cash and they're either transferring it into Bitcoin, buying gift cards, giving cash to somebody else, or they're buying gold bars now. Yeah.
Dude, I told this story a couple of days ago on the podcast, actually, because this happened to me a couple months ago. I was trying to, and I bank with like one of the top 3 banks in the US, and I was trying to transfer a significant amount of money from one of my checking accounts to Coinbase. And I went, first of all, I just tried to do the wire online, didn't work. Went to the local branch, brought my ID, everything, sat down with the guy. I'm like, hey, I need to wire this amount of money from this checking account to this account on my Coinbase account. Like, oh, okay, cool. What's the doodle? Did the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay, see you later. It should go through, whatever. I get a call 2 hours later from the bank. They're saying, hey, this is the fraud department. We want to confirm this, and this. How did you find out about Coinbase? How long have you known about crypto? What was the color of your first car? What's your sperm count? Like everything. And I answered all the questions. And then 2 hours later, declined. You can't do it.
Really?
Go back to the bank the next day. I'm like, dude, I need to wire this money. And they're like, okay, we'll try it again. I don't know what's going on. Long story short, I end up going to the actual branch like 6 times to try to wire that money. And every single time, I got kicked bad by the fraud department.
Yeah.
And they were asking me these obscure questions like, what year did you first learn about Coinbase? What type of crypto are you buying? Like all these weird questions. And I got the sense that like they just didn't want me to take money out of my account. They wanted they didn't want me to take money out of my my checking account for their bank. And eventually, like a month later, I was finally able to get the wire to go through, but it was exhausting.
Yeah, it's so we listen in on phone calls of these scams that are happening. I could actually pull one up if you want later on. And a lot of times these banks will there's no excuse. They'll just let it happen. So I'm very surprised that they put you through so many, hoops, but usually it's like they just go in and get the cash out immediately. And I've seen wire transfers that are in 7 figures. I've seen they're having victims buy gold bars now, like gold bullion, and like ordering it. And these scammers are showing up at these victims' houses and collecting like however many ounces of gold bars.
These scammer companies that are based overseas, they will have proxies in the U.S. in every state they can contact.
Yes.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, it's called Havala, which is like it's like an kind of an ancient money transfer. Not ancient, but it's like a tried and true money transfer system. And Havala is a way in like kind of these Asian countries. It's all built off of trust, and they kind of keep a ledger. So you have like party A and party B, and obviously, if one is in the US and one is in India, they can't physically transfer the money necessarily. So they keep this ledger amongst each other. But now with like crypto and stuff, it's getting a lot easier for them to do it. But before with like cash or gift cards, it was like, hey, you have a victim in the US, you have a money launderer in like California. A lot of them are in California and New York. And then you have a scammer in India. So scammer in India is scamming 50,000 from this granny. So she sends a box of 50K to California. That guy takes 20%. And then puts it in an account overseas, and it's all hidden from the government. So they don't pay taxes. They don't get in trouble. It's like I said, we uncovered it's still under investigation, so I can't say all the specifics, but it's 9-figure ring that does this.
Boy, is it hot outside, and more sweat means more stank. And if there's one thing I don't skimp on, it's my deodorant. Mando deodorant plus sweat control. If you've been searching for the best deodorant like I have some great news. Today's sponsor, Mando, has upgraded the idea of what sweat control actually means with Mando's deodorant plus sweat control solid stick. If you're expecting to be active or out in the heat, you've got to experience what Mando's science geeks have produced. This has been a godsend for me. Have you ever tried jujitsu in the hot Florida heat? The air is so thick with BO and sweat, it's like a slip and slide of onion juice. I've gotten compliments for not making my opponents gag while rolling around on the mat. They even say it's like magic sorcery emanating from my armpits. That ain't your typical deodorant. It's clinical strength, 2 times more effective at controlling sweat. It kicks sweat and odor for 72 hours. Even after 12 hours, sweat was still reduced by 92%. Mando is known for using premium ingredients like gentle mandelic acid. Mando deodorant plus sweat control solid stick. Don't wait. Grab yours at mando.com and experience double protection today. Mando starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. And as a special offer for our listeners, new customers can get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code. Use code DANNY at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide plus free shipping. That's shopmando.com and use the promo code DANNY. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Mando's got you covered with deodorant plus sweat control. Protect your pits and smell great doing it.
It's unbelievable. The network that is out in the States that does this, they're a well-oiled machine. And again, they have people driving, and these are foreign nationals that are driving all around the U.S. in rental cars, Airbnbs. They're flying people around to pick up cash, gold bars, gift cards, and send crypto back and forth. And it's all under the nose of the government. They use our U.S. banks against us. They use our shipping companies. I won't name any companies, but you name a company, they use them. And nobody knows, nobody can stop it. Well, we can stop it, but
do the FBI ever reach out to you yo, we need your help. We can't figure this out. We need to crack this.
Yeah, they've shown up at my office before.
I just show up unannounced.
Yeah, we had the First People's Call Center, and I met with an agency. I won't say who it was, but I had an agency show up, and they kind of played the tough ball thing with me, we know what you're doing, because we live in a gray area. What I do, because I used to just do prank calls and stuff,
right?
And one day I decided to just go all in, so I'm I'm just gonna go after these guys. So
what did these people say to you when they came to your place?
They pretty much said, we want to come to your office, we want to set up a server. And we want you to send us all your information.
Was there at least any pay involved?
No.
What?
They said
you want me to be a mole for free?
Yeah. They were I was well, okay, just hear me out. First off, is there any you're going to give me any information back? Because,
right.
For instance, the biggest thing for me is we've run across so many victims. So if I'm going to give you information on a bad guy or a victim, like something that's currently happening, like a grandma just wire transferred $250,000 on her Chase account, they can actually stop that if I get it in time, which is amazing. So we've stopped some huge wire transfers, but I want to know at least, like, tell me that like granny's okay.
Right.
Because I can't so we work with somebody now on law enforcement side that's actually really chill, really good. And they give some good feedback to me. But at first it was like, we're going to set up a server, and they're probably going to be mad at me for saying this anyway, but whatever. But like, we're going to set up a server and you're going to send us all this information and we're not going to tell you anything. And I'm like, what is that?
Right.
Like, okay. And then they're like, can we come to your office now? And I said, no.
Well, at least like buy me lunch or something.
Yeah, do something. So like, I don't get paid by the government or anything like that. We just want to help people out and we want to catch bad guys. Now, at some point though, like, it's great to help granny or grandpa from losing their money. Like once it gets to like the criminals, I don't touch that obviously. Like I'm not an agent or anything like that. It just goes to them and they do their thing. So I stay away because like the money laundering rings it's ridiculous. Like, you know, there's scammers in India, and if we hack their computers, that's one thing. Because they just want like money. But if you have this gnarly crime ring in the US, that I keep my hands off of that stuff.
So what specifically is the crime ring in the US specifically dependent on those scammers? Or are they touching a bunch of other different stuff like cartels and all kinds of other
whole slew of other stuff, man.
Really? So they're like
drugs,
like
everything.
Weapons, drugs, all kinds of things.
And they're foreign nationals that are here on student visas, all sorts of things. And
from like what countries?
China.
I would guess China would be huge.
China's a huge one. And so they've got countries that don't like us, and they've got people here on school visas and stuff like that, and they have, you know, non-citizens that are doing a lot of these crimes, and we've caught a bunch of them, and they all have fake IDs.
Human trafficking?
I don't know. There might be that, but these guys always play dumb whenever we catch them. And they have everything set up: burner phones, fake IDs.
Yeah.
They're driving rental cars. They're staying in Airbnbs, fake names, code words, and they all coordinate with these scammers like overseas. So they coordinate through like third party. There's websites where you can like essentially say, hey, I have this much cash. Can you give me crypto for this cash? Like if I send you 50,000 in cash, will you give me, you know, X amount of crypto? Or if I send you 10,000 in gift cards, will you send me crypto? So that's kind of where it starts. But there's huge groups out here that's doing it. I mean, it's crazy. Like we actually we infiltrated this one. It's like a banking scam where they pretend like your account has been hacked, and essentially there's charges on your bank account that are, I don't even like to say it. It's like the most disgusting thing. There's certain websites that are like super illegal that they're saying grandma and grandpa have these charges on their bank account. CP essentially.
Yeah.
And like, cause I have to deal with these scammers. So I have to hear them say that it's disgusting. And what they do is they wipe out people's entire accounts. They get that, like one of the victims we just met up with, they were asking him if he like his mortgage and stuff and refinancing his home and getting like equity loans and stuff out to pay back scammers, to like give them money.
Oh,
because he's been hacked and all this stuff on a fake. It's all a trick. And they're playing on people's emotions. The government is definitely like very interested when they do those kinds of allegations, you know, and use that. And then they pretend to be the FTC. They pretend to be the FBI. They pretend to be all these 3-letter agencies. And it's billions of dollars. The billions of dollars that get stolen every single year. It's nauseating. And the victims, oh my God, dude, they're afraid to say anything.
Right.
Like,
because they're embarrassed.
They lose everything. Like people they've taken their lives.
Really?
Like, yes. Taken their lives.
Over what?
Just
losing everything they've had, and they're just like so depressed.
Like imagine being 80 years old and you gave away everything. You have no job, you have no future.
Right. And there's nothing law enforcement can do to get your money back.
Yeah, like the banks don't do anything.
Right.
Law enforcement, so this is one of the problems. These scammers use our institutions against us. So they use our banking against us. They use shell companies. They use our shipping. They use our rental car companies. They use Airbnb. They use everything against us, all under our nose without anybody knowing. So what happens is Granny loses $100,000 and she calls her local police up.
Yeah.
And they create a police report and they go out to her house and they go to the bank, and then XYZ Bank says, hey, yeah, you willingly took that money out.
Right.
Like, what can we do?
Right.
And then what happens is the money trail, it's gone because she handed physical money to somebody. And then that guy, fake identity, obviously, takes that money and puts it in crypto or something, and it's gone.
Right. Right. What incentives does the bank have to catch this criminal? They just want, they don't want to have to pay you back money that was stolen from you. Like, what are they going to do? They don't care about you.
It's all a risk thing for the banks.
Yeah.
Like, how do we mitigate? Companies. Yeah, exactly. How do we mitigate from getting sued? There's been a couple cases, but they always put their hands up and say, well, it's your money. You're the one that took it out.
Wasn't there a case of some hackers that got extradited to the U.S.?
Yes.
In like somewhere in Africa or something?
Yes.
What was that story?
Yeah. So they're called sextortionists. So there's a lot of these call centers. So we go after Indian call centers a lot, but there are call centers in different countries, obviously. And this was a call center in Africa, and they were targeting teenagers. So what they do is they get them on these social platforms and start messaging, things with them.
I've gotten those before.
Yeah. Send me a picture.
I get like a Twitter account of like some young girl who she's following 4,000 people and she has 200 followers and she's like, hey, cutie.
Right. Yeah.
Like trying to bait you into like,
it's
so dumb.
One
so
tweet.
Obvious. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they get these people on like Snapchat and stuff like that. They're messaging with them. They send pictures and then they ask for pictures back. And then they say, hey, we got you. We've got your nudes or whatever.
Right.
And we're going to send it out to your entire friends list or all the people you know. And if you don't give us money, we're going to send it out right now. Your life will be ruined, et cetera, et cetera. And the teenagers are in such shame. There is one, I think he was in Wisconsin, and he ended up taking his life. And they don't tell their parents because they're in such shame.
Jesus Christ.
It's like I'm if anything, I want people to know that this is not about like a couple $100 in gift cards anymore. It's like, not to be too dramatic, but it is life and death. Like people are taking their lives because of the shame that is involved with these scams. And to target, teenagers that they don't have any money in the first place. And to target them from the sextortion route of like, give us money or else, give us $200, give us and what they do is like they get that first 100 or 200, then it's give us 300, give us 300 more, give us 400. And then they start to ratchet up like the attacks of like, hey, this is your mom's name, this is your dad's name, this is your address.
Right.
And the kids they don't know how to mentally can't even handle social media. How do you handle somebody extorting you out of that money as a teenager?
Right. Yeah. 2 Nigerian hackers were extradited to the U.S. to face charges related to sextortion ring that led to the suicide of a 17-year-old Michigan high school student, Jordan DeMay. The brothers were extradited on August 13, 2023 and entered not guilty pleas during their arraignments. Jesus Christ. They targeted over 100 victims. DeMay's being the most tragic. That's so crazy, dude.
When I'm on phone calls with scammers, none of the stuff that they say bothers me. I've been doing it for 6 years now.
You've heard everything.
I've heard them say the most ridiculous things. They don't bother me. But when I think about like what made me change to go from like prank calls into like this more, I guess, offensive approach, like somebody has to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So like is here, like the victim stories and stuff like this, like somebody has to fight back. And that's why we call like taking the fight to these guys, joining the fight against these guys, because it's literally everyday battle. It's like good versus evil. And a lot of people will say, yes, it's like maybe like underprivileged countries and stuff like that, but there's got to be a different way. Like, there's got to be a different way to make money.
Hey guys, if you're not already subscribed, please hammer the subscribe button below and hit the like button on the video. Back to the show. I got one a couple months ago where it was just an email, And it was this long email that basically said the dude was trying to tell me he has video of me from my webcam jacking off on camera, watching porn or something like that, and he's going to release it to the whole world.
Yep. Send me money to Bitcoin.
Oh God. Yeah, exactly. Send me this money, or else everyone's going to see this. All your loved ones are going to see this. And I was just like, and it was like such an arrogant email. The dude was like, he was just being such a dick in the email. Yeah. It smelled such bullshit. And what I do when I get emails like that, I'll go on Reddit.
Sure.
And I'll just like copy and paste the subject line. And then usually you'll see like tons of threads, like, oh yeah, I've gotten these.
100%. Yeah. We like to take those and send links back to them that hopefully they click on, and then we can see their computers. So
that's amazing.
We like to flip the script on them a lot. And I think part of, like, our channel is obviously called Scammer Payback. So it's one thing to protect people, but to get payback at some of these guys,
right?
Like exposing them, and like we'll get on their cameras and we'll show their faces and we'll show their Instagram and we'll show them flaunting money.
Dude, the one that you did, the one, I forgot which one it was. I forget who the guy's name, but you did one I watched last night of this dude. You got onto his webcam and then you were like just terrorizing him for weeks, to where he just had to shut his laptop down for like 4 weeks.
It's fun, man, because like they don't suspect it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, imagine you're sitting here, it's like 3 a.m, because they're like 10 and a half hours ahead of us. It's 3 a.m. You're trying to get $20,000 from somebody. And all of a sudden your laptop, the little light goes on and you're like, well, that's me. I'm turning the camera on because I'm taking your picture. And the next day, maybe he doesn't think anything of it. The next day he's trying to scam somebody, and all of a sudden we start talking through his computer to him. Can you imagine how freaked out you would be? And then on top of that,
and you're like talking to him in a muffled, like terrifying sounding voice.
From my computer through his computer. We can talk to him. We can do all sorts of things. Imagine we could find your exact location in a matter of minutes. I just get on the phone with you. You think that you're connecting to my computer, but we got a connection back to yours like within seconds. And then we can find out exactly where you are. So anywhere in the world, we can find your coordinates within minutes. So we find these guys, and like India's starting to come around where we collect information on these guys and then send it over, and then they'll go and like raid some of these places and get some of these guys arrested.
So the Indian authorities actually crack down on it?
Yeah. They're trying, because a lot of it is like saving face, in my opinion, because the YouTubers in this space, we put a lot of pressure on scammers, especially these. So there's some really big call centers. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with Kolkata, India. But it's kind of it's in like West Bengal, which is like on the, I guess, the eastern side, not fully northeastern, but eastern side, like kind of near Bangladesh. And Kolkata became this hub for scams. Now what happens is you have this rich call center boss that's in a huge, like a beautiful building, like big, beautiful building, right? And there's legitimate businesses running in the heart of Kolkata. And that's during the day. And they have computers and phone systems, and they might be a marketing company, or they might actually do like, call center jobs where they take phone calls and stuff and help actual customers.
Just actual, like, legitimate telemarketing.
Yes. Legitimate. You might be annoyed by it, but it's like legitimate.
Right.
And then at nighttime, it's 10 o'clock at night. Nobody's working in India except for the scammers. So then that business then flips to a scam call center at nighttime, and you have a whole nother shift. And these huge buildings and these huge businesses that are fronts for a scam operation
that make the real money.
1,000 scammers in a building, and nobody says anything about it. Nobody does anything about it because there was a lot of corruption that was going on for many years. So a lot of the YouTubers, we started putting pressure on the city from a lot of our videos. One of the videos that we did, myself, Jim Browning, Mark Rober, there's like hundreds of millions of views on our videos together. And it highlighted these call center bosses and these buildings that were running these huge operations they're making a lot of money.
You were able to figure out who the bosses were?
Yeah. So there's a group of people that had insane access at the time to these guys' computers. And we actually will even send somebody into the call center. So this is like...
What? You filmed this?
Oh, yeah.
Oh God. Like, could you imagine they're on the phone trying to scam you and then like someone taps on their shoulder?
Yeah.
Hey, motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah. Like on the Mark Rober, he actually, like, he did some pranks inside one of the call centers. So he had like roaches and all these kinds of things going throughout the call center and like fart spray and all the stuff. So he did some of that. But like all the jokes and pranks aside, we will actually have people in these call centers. Like right now, myself and my team, we have 15 call centers around India that we're watching right now. And they're running various scams all day, every day. And it's probably 600 or 700 computers of scammers over in India.
When you say you're watching them, do you mean you're tracking everything they're doing on their computers, or do you have like people on the ground there? Or like-
Yeah, we're tracking everything. We watch their scams. We do things to mess with them and troll with them. So we play pranks on them ourselves and have fun. We stop any kind of scam that's going on without kind of burning the operation. Because really the long-term goal is to have India hopefully raid these call centers. Like in Kolkata, what had happened was all this pressure was put on them and they ended up raiding these call centers. And the bosses, there's two bosses, two main ones. One was named Rajesh Goenka, and he ran a company called VRM. Another was Kunal Gupta out of Kolkata, and they had all these other companies. So they had like Kunal had like a poker team and like a horse club, and he had a hotel on the west side of India. So he was moving all of his money, obviously. And
so is he a real estate guy?
Yeah, he turned into real estate, and they seized all of his money. So he had millions of dollars that was stolen money, and they seized all of it, and they're facing charges. And I don't know what will happen with it, but at least there's some kind of justice that's happening. So we're trying to replicate this. We had another call center in December 23 that we got raided, and they were doing about $1 million a month stealing from people.
Wow.
And this is the pop-up scam that turns into the crazy stuff, crazy hackers on your bank account, buying very illegal things on your bank account. And they were just flipping money left and right. They were stealing so much. So we had their CCTV cameras. We were watching their call center every day. And
their security cameras in their building.
Yes.
You hacked into those?
Yeah.
Dude, you guys are the real fucking deal.
There are there's a group of like 40 of us. There's really brilliant minds, absolutely brilliant minds. And, but like, I'll tell you, for instance, on this one, so there's a person I was working with that got the initial CCTV. Then there was they had multiple buildings. So there's a second building that had a CCTV. So I was watching one of the guys, and some of our software allows for us so the guy that was like managing the CCTV. So we didn't have the password for that yet, but I was watching him for hours and hours and hours one day. And I had a thing, it's called a keylogger. It allows you to, see their keystrokes. So he went into the CCTV and we saw his password, copy, paste, log in, and then you get visibility. So we get to see these guys scamming. We get to see when they come in. We could see when they leave. Some of them actually slept there. And they're hiring, by the way, dude, they're hiring. This is the part that's so inhumane, in my opinion, because these call center bosses are hiring like
poor people
that are 18, 19 years old. Wow. And these people, they want to take care of their family, like legitimately. And a lot of times it could be like even human trafficking.
Yeah.
There's stories of that. But like, they just want to take care of their mom and dad.
Right.
And they've been sold, hey, come here and make this money. And they get there and they've left their family behind. And now they're scamming people for like this call center that was doing like $1 million a month. Their payroll for like 50 people was $7,500. And these kids, I call them kids because they're 18, 19. They're like on drugs. One of the kids overdosed, and his family was asking for the money that he was owed, and the bosses just like spat on them, didn't give them anything. And they're living in these terrible conditions.
Taking advantage of desperate people.
Yeah.
Which is what the worst operations, the worst criminal operations around the world consistently do. Like the poaching problem in Africa. It's the same thing. It's just the poor, most desperate people trying to feed their kids that are starving. Like, do I kill this endangered elephant, or do I let my kid die?
Exactly. And it's a very, again, man, like, as I was kind of thinking about this before I got here, like, because I've been doing this for 6 years, and this shift in what I've been doing from, prank calling them and messing with the scammers and, doing some funny videos, because we try to bring some humor, but the the gravity of the situation, man. Like this is people's lives they're losing their lives here in the US. Mm-hmm. They're losing everything in the US. And you got some bosses that are making millions, and then the poor people that are the frontline guys that are risking it all for pennies.
Right. It's the problem that never seems to get solved in any aspect of the criminal underworld. You know, I have a good friend who's an attorney down here, and he one of his biggest cases he ever did was this ship captain who was a cargo ship captain driving a boat from Colombia to Tampa, right here. And poor guy, just like a very, low income Colombian ship captain. And he got hijacked by pirates on the way here, cartel. Wow. And they loaded his ship. They basically held a gun to his head, said, we're going to murder you and your whole entire family unless you take this 500 tons of coke into the port of Tampa. So of course he did it. Yeah. And then the prosecutors, they just tried to sentence him. They didn't go after anybody but this guy. Right. And my lawyer friend ended up getting him off, letting him stay at his house for like 6 months while they were working the case or whatever. But now he represents a lot of these people in this drug trafficking cartel world with, Mexico and South America and all this. And he's now he's representing the heads of these cartels, meeting them at he'll meet them at some random Ritz-Carlton somewhere in South America. And he'll go up and talk to them and do all this stuff. And these guys never get in trouble. They never get caught. They never go to prison. And all of these poor people, like these fishermen and these people that just get caught up and have no other choice but to traffic drugs for them, are the ones that end up in prison. Like the vast majority of them.
Yeah. And I mean, that's a good point, because, we've tried to highlight these bosses. They're getting smarter too. Because they see the videos that we do, because we try to show everything that we can. And this call center that was it's Ludhiana, which is in the Punjab area. It's kind of in between Pakistan and India. Mm-hmm. It's on the Indian side, but it's in Punjab. Mm-hmm. And come to find out, one of the owners was literally a congressman in the city.
No way.
And then the other owner, we got him arrested. There's actual documentation. It was on the TV news, the police raided, all this stuff. It was a huge thing. And the owner, his name is Sanpreet Singh. His grandfather was the mayor of Ludhiana. So the mayor of the city and a congressman, you can't make, so they're making $1 million US
a month.
Yes. And we have so much evidence on these guys. And this is the hardest part, what you're talking about, getting these guys in trouble, because this is a whole nother country.
Mm-hmm. And they have unlimited wealth and resources.
And what I've heard back is some countries will not extradite their people. They just won't, not as friendly with us, even if we have slam dunk evidence. So we're dealing.
That's what CIA extradition teams are for.
Sure, yeah. Go get those guys. We'll show you their location. Yeah. But it's the interesting thing about it is I had to learn so much about this. I went from prank calling to why can't we go get these guys? And they're having the government's having to tell me hey, there's a whole process in India. And actually the judicial process, I guess, in India is very different than the US.
See, you need to start working with some ex-paramilitary SEAL team guys and just get them to just go off. You guys fund it yourselves. They can just go kidnap these guys and drop them off in fucking the South Pole or something.
Yeah, it's go do an Antarctica expedition and see if the wall's out there, But man, it's crazy, because I didn't even know. I thought you just go to CBI, which is the FBI of India, and just tell them, hey, this is going on. Go get them. Mm-hmm. Don't you care? And they're no, this is not how it works. You have to start local, which is very weird to me. So you have to start almost backwards to build up a case for CBI to go do something. That was the feedback I was given.
That's crazy, dude.
So it took us 389 days to get this one call center. So 389 days. I had to go into the office. I had to watch them quietly. So we had 60 to 80 computers, which that's very difficult to watch to see if somebody's getting scammed on each computer. Think about that.
They had 60 to 80 computers?
Okay. So they had different scammers in different buildings working. So you're trying to collect evidence on scams that are happening so you can build up a case, because they also want actual victims too. Mm-hmm. So if I save somebody, they're not a victim anymore.
Okay.
One of the worst things is when like we hack a scammer's computer and I go on there and there's a wire transfer for $78,000 like 2 months ago because I'm too late. I can't do anything. Mm-hmm. I have this guy's computer, but Granny already lost everything and she can't get it back. It's just gone forever.
Right.
So you're trying to build this case against these guys. And at the end of the day, you have to have actual victims, at least 3, for them to like start working. Cause then you have to go back and you have to get statements. So you have to have the victim actually agree to make a statement that they've been scammed. Mm-hmm. Even though we just have a slam dunk of evidence, mm-hmm. there's all of this. And then you're working with another country. So their rules are different than ours.
Yeah.
And they don't extradite them to the US. I don't know why. Maybe it's not enough in their eyes, or it's not what's on everyone's radar, I guess.
How many people every year get scammed? So you said it was $10 billion a year.
And FBI put a report out for $10 billion.
And that $10 billion, is that specifically people in the US getting money stolen from them?
Yes, that's just the US.
Why wouldn't the US government care about that?
And that's not even like, so I don't even touch like romance scammers and I don't touch like the crypto scammers that are like out of like Eastern Europe and stuff like that. I don't touch any of that.
Why?
Because that's a whole nother level. That is like
the shit, the Ukrainian scammers and stuff like that.
Yeah, like there's like I was out in this like global scam conference in Portugal last year, and there is a prosecutor from Germany. They went after a call center in Georgia, not U.S. Georgia, but Europe, Georgia, and they were crypto finance scammers, and ridiculous numbers, ridiculous organized crime that like you don't want to mess with. I don't want to mess with. I'm just like at the end of the day, I'm a YouTuber, right? But like I'm one guy. We've got a few guys on our team, but like
what makes them so much more advanced?
They are willing to, they're not just, so I think like the Indian scammers, they just are powered by money, mm-hmm. and they'll talk a game, but they're not really not like the Mexican drug cartels that'll like come do something to you.
Right.
So I kind of equate like that and some of the Eastern European, scammers that are out there. They're pretty.
Right. A little bit more muscle.
Yeah. A little bit more muscle, like, get you at your kneecaps kind of thing.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I had a friend, or not a friend, I don't know if he wasn't my friend. He came on the podcast a few years ago. This dude named John Boziak, who lived in Miami, and he was doing credit card scams. I forget exactly how it worked, but he was working with a lot of Ukrainian hackers.
Yeah.
And like somehow stealing people's credit cards and like reprinting new credit. He had like a credit card printer machine in his apartment.
Oh yeah.
And he was printing tons of fucking credit cards, dude.
Yep.
And he would just go and just like spend all the money he could, just buy everything he could, like go to Best Buy.
Yes.
And just start buying stuff.
Yes.
And he did this forever, but he eventually got caught by the FBI and did a few years in prison. But
the amount of fraud though, I'm telling you, man. Like I know like Doge was trying to do its thing with finding stuff inside the government. Like the amount of fraud that goes on at like banks and shell companies and like the gift card stuff. Like there's even a scam where scammers will go up to the gift cards and they will put new codes on the back. So someone goes and they'll buy a $500 gift card for Christmas, but the thing has already been like scratched off. So the scammer already has the code and someone's paying for it. And then once it gets activated, they just steal the money. And these companies can't do anything about it.
Oh my God, dude.
Because they're still getting the revenue. They're getting the 500.
Right. Why would they want? Why would they care?
And what can you do? You can't do like, I guess you can look at the cameras and see somebody that did it, but they'll come in and they'll replace these gift cards with, already scratched off things or already taken like the little codes on the back. And it's easy ways for people to take money. Same with like creating bank accounts and LLCs and all this stuff. And what these scammers will do is they'll have someone in the US that they think it's a legitimate business, like a side hustle. Oh, you're doing this. And they're pretty much tricking someone to be a money launderer for them.
Wow.
And they don't know. They just get a cut out of it. So
that's so crazy, dude.
Yeah.
What is it specifically about the the culture in India that enables so many Indian scammers, because that's like India is just known for phone call scams and like these cheap text message link scams where you click it and you get hacked and targeting old people. Like, what is it about India that enables that?
So I think first and foremost, it's because there's so many bright people in India and they're great with technology, great with math, great with science, computer science, you name it. So they have a foundational base of really good knowledge. That's why we have a lot of people that are moving here to the US working for tech companies that are from India and they're super smart. So kind of like what I was saying earlier where
India is like their systems smart, right?
Yeah.
They're like really good with systems, not necessarily known for like creativity or like ingenuity or like innovation.
Yeah, it's kind of like that personality type where, hey, I need you to go do this. And there's some people that can, like, if you tell them the task, go do it, get it done, and they're really good, really proficient with it.
Yeah.
And then you have another person that's kind of like, hey, here's a couple of things, go figure it out.
They're so smart. They can do so much. They're so good at hacking. They can make millions of dollars, but I'm surprised they haven't figured out a barrier with that accent. There's the meme. There's like the dam. It shows like Indian scammers, billions of dollars.
Yeah.
And then the dam is Indian accent.
Well, they're actually, to that point, they're starting to utilize AI. And there's voice changers and things like that. And we were actually watching a call center. This is really funny yesterday. And they're watching YouTube videos on how to change their accent.
No way. That's amazing. They got to do that.
Once they get there, it'll help. But they do things like they take on like American names. So the guy's name might be, Akash Saha. Sorry if you're Akash Saha out there. That's one scammer we went after from Kolkata. So that's one of the names I remember right now. But he goes by David, but his real name's Akash. And, if he's Akash from Microsoft, they're not going to believe him or whatever, right? So he'll be David from Microsoft. And that just helps to keep that relationship with the victim at the time. Another person I was on the phone with yesterday when I was doing a scam bait or a phone call with one of the scammers, he was saying his mom's from India, but his dad's from the US. So they're trying to adopt ways to kind of like deflect from the whole accent thing.
Yeah.
But there's some of them that they go to like very nice schools, like in Kolkata specifically, there's like St. Xavier's, there's all different schools there that teach English is like the first language now in India.
Really?
So only, you would think it's all like Hindi and stuff like that, but only a certain part of the population, they have so many different dialects in India. So from Bengali to Urdu to Hindi, all sorts of things. But the majority of them speak English first. They do speak their native languages in the local areas, but English is becoming, now they still have the accent, but they're all learning English.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
What is this, Steve? Oh, that's the meme.
Oh my gosh.
Indian scammers, their accent, millions of dollars. That's hilarious.
But
that's the best meme.
With all that said though, there are all these barriers. Here's the thing. There's so many other things outside of the accent, like the sound quality. A lot of times they're in, they could be in a call center where it's super loud and you just hear all these other people just like screaming in the background, yelling and talking and dogs barking and like traffic honks and all this stuff. And you're like, what is that noise? If I was on the phone with let's just say my bank or something, I want peace and quiet and I'm hearing all this chaos. I would not trust whoever's on the phone.
Of course.
And even just the way some of these guys, they do their process, how they talk to the victims, they get really angry because it's super late at night. They're frustrated. They maybe haven't eaten.
This dude was cussing you out in this video.
Yeah.
And he's like, thinks you're still going to go to the bank for him.
Exactly. Because so they are taught and trained that no matter what, you stay on, no matter what, because there could be a chance that you're going to get money at the end of this. You stay on that call. No matter what happens, you stay on. And we use that to our advantage because, we know what buttons to push. Like if we want to make them mad or make them use this one piece of software so that we can hack them. Because, there's the whole aspect of social engineering that I utilize from my cybersecurity days to, coerce these guys. For instance, we were going after ticket scammers. So if you go on Facebook, there's scammers that will actually pretend the Taylor Swift concert, right? And they'll go on Facebook and someone's trying to buy tickets and they'll say, hey, I got really great tickets. I'm not going to be able to go. Give us $1,000, which normally they'd be 10,000 or something.
Wow. I've never seen this one.
Somebody sends $1,000 and then the money's gone. They Cash App it, Venmo, whatever. The money's gone. So we actually, at our People's Call Center, we went after some of these ticket scammers. And so the social engineering side is we pretend like we need to buy tickets to something, and then they ask for money. We send them a receipt, but the receipt is a link that goes to a file. The scammer downloads the file. We can see their entire computer in just like seconds. So it's like you use their game against them, right? You use the greed against them. So we're always trying to find different angles. You can do that with like kind of giving away some stuff, but it is what it is. Like wire transfer receipts or like gold purchases. We could send like a receipt, but it's really a virus. A computer virus. So yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. One of my favorite ones too is like on Facebook where like, and this has happened to one of my friends' grandmas, where like Beyonce's DMing me. She says she needs money for her next tour. They fall for it.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of saying. It kind of goes towards like the romance scam.
Yeah.
And
just like these celebrities telling you they need cash.
It's tough because like even our landlord, he had a friend that came over to our office and he was telling me, he's like, my mom, she's 93 and she thinks she's talking to Jason Aldean. And I'm like, okay. And like the whole thing was like, she's talking to Jason Aldean and she's helping him to create a new album. So he's in Nashville or whatever, and he has no money supposedly to create his own album. So he needs money from her. And she sent like $100,000 to him to build an album, and she's helping him and all the stuff. Meanwhile, she's buying phones and shipping them to random places in the US that these money launderers are then taking. So she's helping them do more scams. She doesn't know, but like, those are like big head scratchers to me because they work off of like the emotions. You know, that's the tough part about it is you have lonely people on the internet.
Yeah.
And they just want somebody to talk to. And goodness gracious, Keanu Reeves is messaging me. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, he's such a nice guy, right? It's like Keanu Reeves gives away all of his money and scammers use that. Like they pretend to be me. Like they pretend to be Mr. Beast. They pretend to be all sorts of people.
Yeah.
And like, we have to deal with that all the time, man. Like,
yeah, the internet is such a weird thing, bro. Like it's, it's like, I mean, this is like the best evidence that things that are like super innovative and like a complete game changer for like human civilization and communication, and they can do like amazing good things for humanity, can also be equally as devastating and bad and bring out the worst in people.
Yes.
Like and the worst in human nature.
We had a conversation in our office about dead internet theory. Have you heard about that before?
Yeah. Well, explain it to people who haven't heard of it.
So this is my best explanation of it because my guys did a video on it just like internally in the office. And it's essentially that companies and governments have created a bunch of bots to talk with people on the internet, and what people think they're communicating with, where they think it's a real person, but it's just something to farm engagement. So whether it's in the comment section of a video or an article on CNN, and you know, you doom scroll to the bottom and there's like comments for whatever reason on like news articles, and people are like, this is what I think about that. And it's not a real person. And people think that they're engaging with the internet, and people think they're engaging with people, but they're engaging with corporate interest and government interest of how the governments and corporations want to shape you to think and interact and react and all that. So that's how I took it. And it's like 99% bots. So they went to like Facebook and X and all these other places and saw that like the numbers of actual users, it's way less than what they report to everybody.
Wait, that's real though?
Oh yeah. Like the amount of users on Facebook, like I don't know how the numbers of how much they report in the whatever hundreds of millions or billions, but it's really like 40% less because they're all bots.
Dude, the bot thing is blowing my mind lately because I've been noticing, especially over the past year, just more and more bot behavior in comment sections, specifically on YouTube, where I can go in and specific videos I'll notice, you can see that their cadence is all the same. The cadence and how they talk, certain words they use, and how they'll be like, just like the structure of the sentences. You can tell.
Yeah.
And there's so much of it. And I always want, I mean, I am mad. It has to be, I know there's foreign governments that are trying to manipulate discourse in different countries. Like they would have reasons to do that. Right. But like, it's just the internet comment section is such a cauldron of bullshit. It's so hard to parse through it. And so much of it seems like, it just seems disingenuous and seems not natural.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's like, I want to think like you're talking about like systems that are being put in place, like AI, for instance, and like, but you can tell when it's not a real person that's written. Like there's even AI that there's like, I won't name the company because I'm not going to put them on blast like that, but they were actually writing like AI articles and posting them as like original articles on the internet. And then they were utilizing like comments and just this whole thing that we're talking about to boost on Google rankings and all that kind of stuff.
Wow.
So they get more advertiser money and things like that. Mm-hmm. But they were writing pretty much all AI articles, which are like, that's fine, I guess, but it's so that they could pump out more things quicker and get more advertisement money and clicks and all that kind of stuff.
So gross.
And then, like at the end of the day, like who do you trust? Like who do you trust as the news source? How do you trust that this is even a real person that's reporting this?
Right.
And then
people just do things for money now.
Yeah. And it's that kind of freaks me out as I'm saying that, because it's like you're in this reality that somebody's created for you of like this article that's written by a computer that's maybe based off of a couple nuggets of fact or something, or maybe opinion. Right. And then the comments aren't even real people. So you're engaging in a complete,
it's the Truman Show.
Yeah. We're living in it, man.
Yeah. And where does that go? That goes to like books and movies ultimately being like, you take somebody wants to make a movie, ask the AI, hey, make me a super engaging, compelling movie that's going to smash box office numbers and do well. And then you're engineering from like, you're reverse engineering it from like what's going to be good, make good money or whatever. And there's no art or soul in anything anymore. It's just all engineered to make money and get more attention from people.
Yeah. And I think
that's crazy.
I think too, like, I think what's going to happen, especially even in like content creation, I know we've been talking about scams and stuff like that, but we also make content, and like, I think that true content creators, that they have a genuine connection with their audience and not a manipulated or fake or whatever AI driven, you know, a lot of these faceless channels, it's not even a real person and they're just putting in things.
Yeah.
Those will always rise to the top. The true genuine connection, whether it's news or whether it's content, like the true connection with the audience will always win out. I feel like, because, you know, you go and look at like ChatGPT. I've been spending way too much time on ChatGPT. My wife and I are like constantly.
Have you used Grok?
I have.
I heard Grok's better.
I've heard it as well. Unfortunately, they put Grok in the Tesla now. So you can talk to Grok in the Tesla. While you're driving, you can talk to Grok.
Oh my God. I had no idea.
I'm pretty sure they just put that in the update.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know if it's better or not. I haven't used Grok. I've used ChatGPT more, but Grok's slower for sure. I personally, it's not there yet. I want to automate my life better. Mm-hmm. So for instance, I want to be able to put inputs in to optimize my day, for instance. Like, I want to be able to get 6 things done today, and here's what my schedule is, or my typical schedule. And maybe I was late. Oh yeah, there we go. Grok is now available in Tesla cars, built with certain limitations and requirements, obviously.
Yeah. I think I've driven with my knees too many times in the self-driving mode, so I don't know if they gave that to me. I don't think they trust me yet.
Oh, that's funny. They can give you a score based on how good of a driver you are.
Oh yeah. What kind of stuff you can get. Looks at your eyes and stuff while you're driving.
That's fucking scary, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not down with that.
It's got a little camera at the top. So like so you can put in the full driving, and I've typically done that with like if I need to open up like a sauce packet, you know, from Chick-fil-A or something, like, and then put it back down, you know. But I actually like driving just the regular, because I enjoy driving. Yeah. So that's like one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
You know, interstate and all that kind of stuff. And Teslas are fun to weave in and out. So
yeah.
So if you look away for a second, like people trying to text and drive, there's no way you can do that. You cannot do that.
I watched a video on Instagram yesterday of a dude playing a video game on his screen while the car was driving him down the highway.
Okay, well, he must
have hacked
the
it,
terms
maybe?
of service or something.
He had like a PS5 controller.
Yeah.
And he was like playing Call of Duty or
That's
something.
funny. That's funny. Yeah,
that must have not been. Maybe it was AI. I don't know.
It may have been, but it's, when I think about it, I'm excited to see where like technology is going to drive, because technology is exponential. And what I mean by that, the leaps and bounds that it makes, like when we're, who would have thought, you look at iPhone, I think it was released, 2007?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yep.
And even like supercomputers and quantum computing and all these things that are happening right now. And the leaps are just crazy leaps. So what AI is going to do, from cars, autonomous driving, the taxis and all that kind of stuff, to the robots, like, my guys at the office, they'll laugh at me because I'm like, I'm getting that dang robot. I'm getting the robot in my house. It's going to go get my groceries and all that stuff. But like, I think there's going to be really great uses for technology to make our lives easier, but not to take over our lives. I know that's what everybody's fear is, but I think there's going to be a good balance.
Well, you know how the internet and YouTube and just content is just so oversaturated right now. Like there's an overwhelming amount of information everywhere. I think that with technology and with the advancement of AI and all these things, people are going to get lazy. And we're going to see more of these articles that are created by AI. And we're going to see more people creating YouTube channels and gamifying it and just having YouTube build them videos to try to like get more views and make more money right like that. And I think that's going to open up a fucking huge lane for people like you that are genuine and actually like are doing real things and putting time and money and thought and like blood, sweat, and tears into their content. And that's going to help, like, it's going to create an opportunity for that kind of stuff to just catapult to the top. And everything else is just going to kind of fall flat, I think.
Yeah, it's everybody kind of chase at least on YouTube. I can't talk for all the other social medias. That's just not my thing.
Yeah.
But for YouTube, it's like, there's some big dogs out there that everybody's kind of chasing, the Mr. Beast of the world and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And everybody tries to copy his formula and how he does stuff or whatever. But for us, if it's like making music for us, we're going in the studio.
Right.
We're saving lives, hacking scammers. Like that in and of itself is pretty fun. Yeah. Pretty cool. So if we can articulate that to the audience, like we're pretty proud because we hit it's like almost 1.2 billion views on calling scammers.
Do you use just the one YouTube channel?
Yeah, just one.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. You guys have like 8 million subscribers. It's insane.
Yeah. It went pretty crazy. One of the years we did like 3.5 or 4 million subscribers. It was just like, it was crazy. And like really big videos, and the videos, they drive the subs and stuff like that. So if you get big views on videos, then it drives the subscribers. But we've just been focused on like continuing to invest back in and make good stuff that people want to watch so that they can learn. Like there's been so many people that have come up to me and they say, hey, because of the videos, I was at the bank and I heard somebody sending a wire transfer and I helped stop it because I knew what to look for. Or there's a kid in South Carolina that was in a Publix and he heard a grandpa in the bathroom on the phone talking about gift cards. He's 12 years old, and he stopped the guy from getting scammed and losing his money.
Wow.
So I think like that's something that makes me really happy when the community of people that watch, it's not just entertainment, like mind numbing entertainment. It's something that you can like really sink your teeth into and like make a change. Like, so that makes me pretty proud.
Yeah. Have you ever got like, what's like the worst retaliation, if any, you've gotten from these scammers? Like, have they ever tried to like fuck with you back, or like try to do like dox you or try to like swat you or anything like this?
Yeah, I've been doxxed before. You get more worried about like fanatical people, I would say. I'll just kind of leave it at that. You get more worried about that.
Like people that are fans?
Yeah, like, because, they want to know everything, because they want to know everything about you. They want to know like where you live, what you're doing, like they get pretty fanatical. And especially if you're behind like pseudonyms and stuff, that's like one of the first things you want to find out who they are and like all that kind of stuff. It makes it more interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
The layer of mystery makes it more fun.
And the blue hair, it's funny because my wife actually said like, he's definitely going to ask the first question, why do you have blue hair? And I'm very surprised I didn't get that asked yet, but
is there a good answer?
No, there's really not a good answer. It's just more like, I'm kind of stuck with it now because, once I left my cybersecurity career and did YouTube, I was like, I'm going to kind of as like a celebration, being my own boss, I'm just going to like do blue hair. I'm just going to go blue. And it kind of stuck with me. And
That's cool.
it doesn't hurt.
Do you ever switch it up or do you keep it blue?
I mean, I do. My wife does my hair, so she does various colors and stuff.
Wow,
yeah. So, she used to do hair and stuff like that. But, so I've had like blonde, so I'll do like the bleach blonde and then all that just to change it up. But if I let it grow out, it goes pretty gray. So I try to.
Oh, really?
But, yeah. So, it's,
keep people on their toes.
Yeah. Like the scammers, they haven't, as far as retaliation, they just say they're gonna, hey, we're gonna whatever.
Yeah.
Like they're just talk. That's what I'm saying. The Indian scammers, they're talk. They wouldn't dare like try to do stuff here in the US to a citizen, like the repercussions. So, I always do my best though to protect myself as much as possible, from security standpoint and all that. Like we stay on top of things.
Have you ever messed around with, any of those programs like Pegasus or anything like that? There's one that Mexico has that they think they got from what was it called? Luis Chaparro was in here. He's a cartel journalist. Yeah. And he like embeds with the cartels and talks to them about everything they're doing. And one of the things they're doing is they're buying this, basically Mexico's version of the FBI. They have this software that they buy from Israel. I forget what it's called, but it basically lets them, if they have somebody's phone number, their cell phone number, they can track exactly where they are and pull up all their info. So now the Mexican police or the Mexican FBI is literally selling that shit to the cartels so they can track down their enemies and shit. It's insane.
Yeah, it's to that. You actually, when I was working for an Israeli company, my last job before I went full-time YouTube. And they actually uncovered a cyber crime group that was a part of hacking like the telecom industry. And what they were able to do was they had, Pegasus, by the way, Pegasus is like the most gnarly malware, and it costs like
$1 million.
Yeah, it's custom. So you buy it it's custom, and it's very difficult. It's very expensive, obviously, but you can get any phone, you can get any computer, and it's very easy. And then you just
own the system. It's easy to get Pegasus. Like if I wanted to get
it's easy to get the person. Like you could get anybody you want with it, because it's like a 0 day essentially. Because a 0 day attack essentially is a piece of code that doesn't get, let's just say like the antivirus is on a computer, it doesn't get recognized by them.
And you don't have to rely on anybody to click on anything.
Exactly. Right? It's just it goes and does its thing.
You just type in the person's phone number and you're in.
Yeah. Well, if you get it over to whatever device, and they don't even have to click. Like if I sent you a phishing email with this embedded in, you don't have to, that's the crazy part. You don't have to do anything. Like you don't have to, like typically if you send a virus to somebody, they have to like
open it
and yes, I want to run this and all these kinds of things. Pegasus is like, that's why it's so expensive.
Have you ever used it?
I have not. I've asked for it like 100 times. I'm like, can y'all get like, because a lot of the scammers, they run a lot of their money laundering on phones. So they have like Telegram groups and stuff like that. And we want to infiltrate their phones. Getting on phones, it's getting easier, but it's still very difficult. So they have a lot of these burner phones, and I'm like, can y'all give me something to work with? But there's a line that they don't go with me, I guess. So.
Yeah. Well, you think if the U.S. government was using you to help, catch these bad guys all around the world, that they could at least like hook you up with Pegasus to get them back.
That'd be cool. Now,
they don't care about giving you their technology. They want to steal what you're doing.
Yeah.
They want your expertise.
Yeah. Well,
Titan. That was what it was called. That was the Mexican one. It was called Titan.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Because this is actually something that's actually very scary. This actually has really bad repercussions because like, obviously there's issues going on between, cartels in the U.S. right now fighting on the border and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And ICE agents and Border Patrol and DHS and all that. Mm-hmm. So that's a very messy situation. And when you throw this into the mix and you can start to track people, that's what these groups, these Chinese groups that my company uncovered at the time, this is a number of years ago, they were actually using this data from these telecom companies to track anyone that they wanted to. Politicians,
Chinese groups were stealing data
Right. So they could hack a telecom, and then they were geolocating in real time where politicians were going to be without anybody knowing. That's what the capabilities that they had.
Wow.
So these guys can do the same exact thing if they wanted to, with the same types of, like what you're talking about, the geo tracking and all that. It's very, especially with all the towers that we have. So you don't even have to have the device if you even have access to the telecoms.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a whole nother, data is a whole nother problem that we see, is everybody's data is out there. And, you know, you could search your name and find your address, your parents, your siblings, everything.
Oh my God. It's a problem. I got an email yesterday of a guy actually, he called me and then he texted, I didn't answer, and he texted me a random number, and he just texted me a screenshot, and he just he Googled Danny Jones concrete podcast, contact info. And it listed 3 email addresses and my cell phone number right there on top of Google.
I have a actual personal vendetta with these kinds of companies, these data brokers.
Yeah.
And people who watch my channel will probably laugh because we talk about the data brokers all the time, but they will buy your information from data breaches. So this is from the dark web. They're buying your information, selling your information to anyone who wants to buy it. So stalker, anybody could go and buy all of your information.
American companies are selling this stuff.
Yeah. And they're selling it and making, so there's some data brokers, the stat that I was told was they make more than the NFL, the MLB, and the NBA combined. Data brokers. Off of our data. And it's not illegal. And then if you want to go to them and say, hey, take my information off, they're like, okay, but you got to do this, and you got to fill out a form, and you got to do a link, and it's going to take 72 hours. And then it could come back. There's a certain website I won't say, but it comes back like every month, and you have to keep going back. So that becomes a full-time job, getting your data off the internet.
Are there any good companies that are out there that can help you scrub all that shit off?
Yeah, there's a number of good ones. I've got one of my good buddies actually runs a company. His name's Ryan Montgomery, and he's,
I've heard of him.
Yeah, so he runs a company, and they do a lot of that as well. It's called Pen Tester, and they will actually scrub a lot of that data off. But it's really, you know, there's so many companies that do it. He's just a personal friend of mine. So, but like,
he's the one that catches like the child predators, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's dark.
And
shit.
he starts, it's, I feel for him, because I know what I go through with like granny getting scammed. And that's why I was talking about like Eastern European countries and things like that, with all the crazy stuff that goes on that he's having to deal with. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Like the amount of darkness, man, that's a dark place. And he has to, like, he's protecting a lot of people. Are these people in the U.S. or are these people outside of the U.S. that are doing this stuff? There's people, it's honestly scattered everywhere.
Really?
It's, I know that he found like politicians in the U.S. that were a part of groups and stuff like that. And there's a lot of stuff in Eastern Europe, and then some in like Central America and things like that as well.
Politicians.
Yeah.
Active U.S. politicians.
I don't know about active anymore, but yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah. That are whatever, active subscribers or whatever it is. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, it's a dark place. And whether it's exploitation or scams or sextortion, there's so many that makes the internet so bad. So it's supposed to be such a great place, but there's all this, and like, especially like even with like the grandmas and grandpas out there, they're from a generation. This is something to think about.
That doesn't understand this stuff.
They don't get it.
Right.
And like, they're so trusting. They're so sweet. Like I'm telling you, man, like the grannies and grandpas that we talk to, they're like so sweet, and they have no idea. And they're like, well, yeah, this guy, he told me he was from Microsoft and that there was a hacker, but like, I didn't know. I've never bought gold before. I'm like, well, I know. The only guy who's that guy on TV that does the gold bullion all the time, the commercials, that's what I always think about. There's some guy.
The late night ones?
Yeah. There's, one of the channels that has like the buy gold as like your investment,
Right. There's a lot of them.
So, but it's like the world is these people are so trusting, and it's a dark place. So
have you ever had any people in these like scamming organizations defect and like want to leave them and come work for you?
Yeah, it's I have actually. We had eyes in that Punjab call center. Mm-hmm. So I had a guy that contacted me because a lot of times I'll call them up and then they'll call me out and then they'll have my phone number. They'll write it down and then they'll text me and they'll say, hey, I don't want to work here anymore. I'm going to leave. Mm-hmm. Call this guy out. This is the boss. This is where we're located. And then some of them will go as far as, hey, the boss is going to be here on this day, or this is where they're going next. Like, for instance, we had this call center in Punjab. We were going to get them raided. This is some stuff I feel like maybe not cut out for sometimes. This is not what I signed up for. You know what I mean? So like sometimes I'm like, is this like real life, like, you know, Beekeeper, you know, like the movie Beekeeper. I don't know if you've seen that, the Jason Statham movie where he goes after scammers and stuff. But it's like this real life spy kind of stuff that I didn't know I was going to be getting myself into, like espionage, like sending someone in and like, I'm not trained for this. Like, I'm like, can somebody teach me, you know? And so we have this guy in there and we were trying to get them raided. Lo and behold, they just shut down. All the computers go away. The camera shut off.
Before the raid?
Yes. Like not months before the raid, like hours before.
What? They got tipped off.
Yeah. And, so not safe to say I was pretty pissed, honestly, but like my guy hits me up and he's like, hey dude. And he was the one that was telling me about the kid that overdosed and they like didn't give him any money to the family. And like, dude, they were living in like the worst conditions. And he's like, I want to get these guys. He's like, the bosses are pieces of trash. So he was giving me that's how I knew all this information. Cause it's like a human asset at this point, you know? Mm-hmm. And he's like, look, just protect me. So we got him like money to get back to his house. He's like, I just want to get back home. So we helped him get back home, you know, helped pay for him to get back home. And like, essentially he's like, okay, they're going to this place. They know that you guys hacked them. So they're moving over to like iPads. They're moving to this other location. So we'll tell you when they're there. And they were exactly there. And that's how we were able to raid them like a couple months later. So they're waiting just like any criminal, right? When they know something's hot, they'll go quiet for a little bit, wait for it to cool down, and then they'll come back.
Right.
Because the money's too good for them.
Yeah.
And the greed, always, you go after the greed and you use the greed against these guys. I feel like as I'm saying this, I watched something like your ex-CIA stuff. I'm like, I feel very ruthless in my mind. You use it against them. You know, but like it becomes that. And it's like,
well, you're using a very unique skill and talent to do good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think that's sociopathic at all.
Yeah, we have this guy that we just hired that works with us. And he like reverse engineers malware and stuff like that for like fun and stays at the office really late to do this. Yeah. I'm like, dude, go home. You know? But he and I share such a passion for this because like we want to help people and we want to get the bad guys in trouble, obviously. And it's like this weird cat and mouse game that we play with these scammers. Mm-hmm. But the capability is what I'm getting at that we have against these guys, the tools, the capabilities, without any help from any law enforcement necessarily, that homegrown stuff that allows us to now use the scammers' systems against themselves, use what their process is against themselves,
right,
to now expose them and get after them. It's a game changer.
Have you ever met anybody who is as good at hacking as you are?
A lot smarter people than me, dude.
Really?
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah.
Like in other countries?
Like,
are these people just like
just even in the space? Belief? I'm telling you. So like there's a person in the space. She's in Europe and she built a software. So there's brilliant minds in this space, man. Such brilliant minds. She built a so they have these like phone systems that they use, and she built something that would pretty much hack all of their phone systems. I won't say how, but she could actually go in while they're on phone calls with people and change the pitch of their voice while they're on phone calls with people. So they're talking to someone and then all of a sudden they're talking like this, like Mickey Mouse and like all the stuff. and she can change the pitch up and down while they're live on a call with someone. It's unbelievable. And then she can get access to their computer too on top of that. There's people that, again, they get access to these CCTV cameras. There's some methods, social engineering methods to do this, and it is so freaking cool, man. There's such an aspect.
Is this woman doing the same stuff you're doing, basically?
Yeah, she stays pretty private.
Okay.
Like, so she doesn't do like all the YouTube stuff, but she works kind of on the back end with all the other scam bait people in my space. And
so she's working on like behalf of her government or something like this?
She goes after scammers in other countries. And then she just kind of works to like, you know, she helps people like just in tandem to what they're doing. She just wants to help out. Right. So she builds these really incredible programs. And some of the guys.
So she doesn't get paid to do this?
No.
Wow.
She does it because she loves it. And
that's amazing.
There's another guy that they're building $500,000 AI something or other that's going to be crunching data. Because that's what I was getting at earlier. It's all about data where it's going to be. And we're actually building stuff on our side to collect information in real time from all these scammers' computers. Call it what you want. I'm sure some security people would call it botnet. But essentially, we're going to be able to ask any question of any of these scammers' computers that we have access to. Download any other files, find where their locations are, and put it into like a big database that we can search and run AI against. So that's what we're going towards in the future. Not just getting access to their systems and helping people, but being able to like pull intelligence and information from them when they're scamming, what times, who they're talking to, what their systems are, what they're using, where the next payment's going to go, all that kind of stuff. So we're trying to get ahead of the game there.
So you're going to use AI to basically process all this information and what they're doing, and then what next?
Put it in that server and let the government do their thing.
So the government would have access. So you would just hope that the government does something about that.
Yeah. Right? I mean, like, I don't want to just give away all the information that we have.
Right.
I don't want it to like go into like a black hole and then I don't know what happened to all of our work. I want to be helpful.
Yeah.
So I want the scammers to face justice for what they've done, like the bosses. I want there to be jail time. I want there to be extradition to the U.S. I would love to see that. And then as many people as I can be saved, because like, think about it this way. If we have access to a computer, we can run software that will essentially kind of monitor the screen so I don't have to be watching it. So we can get screen captures and maybe there's a live scam that's happening and we'll take information from that and then get notified in real time. So that's what we're building out to get towards, so that when you have 700 computers with a few guys, we can't watch all of that.
Right.
So it's like, take this information.
I see.
Try to find the
scale it.
Yeah. I'm trying to take like my enterprise security approach, because that's what happens is in enterprise security, you have all these like viruses and crazy things happening. Like say like a hospital's getting hacked. They have all these alerts of stuff that's happening. And you have to figure out what the most important thing to go after is. Like what's the biggest fire to put out? Right. There's a bunch of smoke. Yeah. What's the biggest fire? If, for instance, on my scam stuff, if there's just a grandma on the phone with a scammer, it's bad, but it's still not terrible. If there's a grandma that is waiting for somebody to drive to her house so she can hand them gold bars, that's kind of a big deal.
Urgent.
So we're trying to figure out the best way to build out those systems to find all that in real time, run AI against it, and save more people.
Wow.
Because again, the worst feeling ever is when you get to something and it's too late and you can't stop it.
Right.
And I feel personally responsible, because I would have stopped it if I could. And if I can't, it's the worst feeling.
Right.
It hurts.
It's still so crazy to me that like you don't hear anything about it. You don't hear anybody in Congress or anybody in government saying anything about this stuff. No. You know, it's like you are one of the only people that's talking about this. It's pretty insane. And I know so many people in my family, friends of family, that get screwed over by these people constantly.
Yeah. I could pull up my computer and show you all the scams that are going on right now. And these scammers...
You could live see all the scams?
Yeah. If we go on Wi-Fi, I could show you.
Wait, you want to do it?
Yeah.
Can we hook it up? Can we hook them up to HDMI and show it on the screen?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that would be sick.
I'm going to have to tell you what to blur though after, if that's okay.
Oh yeah, totally.
There's some things we have to blur.
Okay, that's fine.
But yeah, like they remote access into people's computers, and I could like, there might be bank accounts and stuff too. So we have to be
right.
You know, whatever on that. Yeah. But yeah, it's like if you ask somebody about scams or the pop-ups, everyone knows about it. And then you go to these, like I've been to some of these government conferences where 3-letter agencies are there and like, yeah, we are doing this about it and that about it. And there's nothing, because everything it's so difficult to keep up with. Like there's no centralized like information source, if you think about it. So if a victim is going to a bank, for instance, she's going to Bank of America, not to pick on Bank of America, just a big bank.
Right.
She's going to Bank of America. They have their internal things that they have to do to like, hey, what are you doing with that money or whatever, right? She takes it out, but there's no like, hey, Granny took out 100,000, that it's not going to the local police. It's not going to the feds. There's no like smoke there. It's just at the bank. Now it becomes something when it becomes a police report way after the fact.
Yeah.
So you're sharing all this information and the guys are already gone to the next thing. They're so good at what they do. So that's why what we do is so valuable, because it's proactive. And we're getting there.
So you're saying once the money is gone, there's no way to get it back. You have to solve it before the money's gone. Otherwise, you're just spinning your wheels.
And that's the $10 billion question.
And also, once they get their money, they're basically invisible. You can't find out who they are. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, they're using, so like I said, the Havala transfer system that they use, it's cash, which is very easy to move, like, you know, $30,000 cash, get it out, go pass it somewhere else. Gift cards, those are like, you can kind of track them, but they're moving these through these like third-party websites that do crypto so fast, and there's so many crypto mixers and all that. Like once it just goes to an exchange and it's gone. And then they're having victims go to like Bitcoin ATMs. There should not be Bitcoin ATMs in the US right now.
That's crazy.
It's all fraud. I'm telling you, it's got to be like 95% fraud. Bitcoin ATMs. Nope. Do you know anyone that's used a Bitcoin ATM?
No.
Yeah, it's like all criminals, man.
Well, who would use a Bitcoin ATM? What's the point? How is it supposed to work?
They get the grandma to get.
No, I mean like I'm saying you're the guy that's in charge of installing the Bitcoin. You're selling your Bitcoin ATM to fucking Circle K.
Yeah.
What's your pitch?
We're gonna pay you $1,000 a month to have this here, I guess.
And why do people use it?
To launder money. There's no other. I've tried to think about it. Like, oh, crypto's big now, and like, can you imagine? I'm gonna go to a crypto ATM to send my friend. Like, nobody does that.
No,
nobody does. Like, I'm gonna send a
that's the whole point of crypto.
Exactly,
to not have to go to an ATM.
Right. Exactly. You just do it from your phone.
Right.
You get the wallet, and they're having these grandmas go and take cash out. Like, imagine this: you're at Circle K, and you're getting paid $1,000 a month from the crypto ATM company, and this person comes in with $25,000 cash, like shoveling hundreds into this Bitcoin ATM, and on the phone with some guy like, ma'am, please, okay, send a picture, ma'am, and you can like hear all this stuff, and they just sit there and watch it happen. Like, the only things that happen, just like nothing good happens after 12 o'clock, nothing good happens at a Bitcoin ATM. Like, these things are like it's all money laundering.
Oh God, that's
like
hilarious.
I have battles with them. I have battles with the crypto ATM people, because what we do is like, we can see where the scammers are sending the victim. So they are searching these Bitcoin ATMs on the victim's computer, so we can see what's happening. Oh, they're sending them to like Circle K or wherever, liquor store. So we send like the feds, like we say, hey, this is where they're going. And then they send like local police in.
Right.
And then the police blame it, or they figure out a way to like not burn the connection, I guess.
Right.
So they blame it on the police versus like somebody who's watching, if that makes sense, so that we can still watch the scammer.
Oh my God.
It's like,
imagine the plot twist that the CIA are the ones that are using this stuff to like fund black ops.
Well, we've got a lot of money that's gone missing in the government, I'm sure.
Yeah, a few dollars have gone missing. What is this, Steve?
Oh, this is just one of those stories.
Oh, officer foils scam attempt. Interesting.
Yeah, see that top right one too? 77-year-old woman takes $25,000 to Bitcoin.
Literally. Is that yours?
Yeah, that was one of ours.
Wow.
And the one above that is the one we did with Mark Rober, where we glitter bombed the money mule. So she was at the
really?
Yeah, so you can see her pants have the glitter all over it because she thought it had a bunch of money in it, but it just had a glitter bomb. So
wow.
This happens. It's very sad because, again, it's all about like data and numbers, and you can't stop everything. Mm-hmm. So like what happens is like grandma's on the hook for $25,000, and I'm on the phone for 3 hours trying to contact her. So I'm calling her over and over, and the scammers, they're watching. Sometimes they're on their phone, and I'm calling, and the scammer's like, "Ma'am, do not pick up. That is the hacker."
While you're calling.
Yeah. So I'm calling saying like, "Emergency, pick up." And they're like, "Ma'am, that is the hacker. Do not pick up. I promise you." Because they've already sold them the story. Sorry. They've already sold them the story that a hacker's on their system and taking their money and all that stuff. So then I'm coming to save the day, and they're lying. So I will call like 1,000 times. I will send text messages kind of can be bad because what happens is send a text. The victim goes, "Someone just texted me and said I'm on the phone with a scammer from India." And then the scammers, they shut down their computer. I have no eyes anymore. I can't hear anything because we can listen in on the conversations too. So we hear everything. We see everything. So there's some tactics you can't do because it burns the connection, and then you can't save the person. They're screwed.
Oh my God. So you can get into their stuff without, you're abusing a 0 day, right?
We are abusing the stupidity. I mean, we're using
the guy in India who you got into his webcam.
Yeah.
Did he have to click anything?
So there's things I can't necessarily say.
Okay.
But we're essentially, so what happens is they connect to us first.
Okay.
And then we send them a request, and we have to socially engineer them into accepting. If they do,
got it.
Then we're in. And then what we do from there
and they
is
can't get out.
We make ourselves very pesky in their on their system. So if they find one of the pieces of software, then we have 4 others. And we're all embedded in their computer. And then from there, we actually will run scans on their network, just like any hacking group would, for instance. Like when they're in like a hospital system or something, they run scans. It's called discovery. So we'll run discovery scans and see what else is out there, what open ports, because if there's open ports that, like for instance, CCTV has certain ports, there's also another port that's very near and dear to the heart of scam baiters. I won't say that port because it gives away like certain softwares and stuff. But if we see that, then it's go time, and we can find other computers on the network. So we go from 1 system to 20 in like a day. So we find the entire call center. So then we have eyeballs on all the scammers' computers from 1 phone call.
That's incredible.
And it goes just like that. And it uses their software against them. It uses their systems, and they don't know what hit them. They can't get us off. They can't get us away. And we are there forever after that.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's really fun. And it's a lot of like responsibility, I guess, because then if you think about this, we have 700 computers that come on and off during a time. So you have to watch those every day with a couple people. Or else Granny's going to lose her money. Right. So how do you keep up with that? So,
well, it's amazing how you're able to turn it into entertaining content so you can fund it all. I mean, it's a brilliant operation.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, the growth of the channel has allowed for us to because we don't have like government grants. Obviously, we live in a gray area, so the government can't say go do this, because then all of a sudden you're like telling someone to go. Not go after another country, but you know what I mean? Like, go do this in our interest. Like they want to help people, but they can't tell me to go tell my guys or whatever to go do something. But they will go and help someone if there's like an emergency, go stop the scam. So they like that information. But so I don't know, we make the videos and we try to get good views and things like that so it can fund what we're doing because we have a big team. And so it's fun, it's enjoyable, and it's, we in the office we say you can do good and do good at the same time. So like we're from the South, so it's like you can do good and do good. So like you can do good for others and actually do good like for your business. So
right, of course.
We run it like a business. If we don't get good views, then we can't keep making videos. So
now, what specific things do you do in like your personal life as far as like your personal computers and phones and like I'm sure you have security cameras around your house and your office. Like, do you have specific type of products you use or ways that you protect yourself against hackers, or even like, I don't know. There's stories out there where I don't know how serious to take them. Yeah. Where they say that like there's microphones in the Google Nest and stuff like this. Those kind of stories just freak me the fuck out.
Yeah, you can get paranoid pretty quickly. Yeah. Are you a paranoid person, do you think?
I'm not. On the scale of 1 to 10 of paranoia, I'm probably a 4.
Okay. If I go down the rabbit hole, like you can get me revved up pretty quickly. Like I'm paranoia. Really? But like normally I'm chill. But like if I start thinking and thinking and thinking, because like for instance, if you went onto your,
if you had stoned I am,
yeah, sure. If you like, so if you think about it, like if you went on your network and everybody's got a smart TV, most people have 10 smart TVs or whatever it is. And they've got, everyone's got an iPhone now. Everyone's got an iPad and everyone's got a computer. Everyone's got a microwave that connects to Wi-Fi and 10 Alexas and all these things, right? And they're all connected to the internet. Like why in the world does our washer and dryer, or why does our, steam mop need to be connected to the internet?
Right.
And then all of a sudden you look into it. What's the company that owns that steam mop? Where are they located out of?
China.
Why in the world does China need access when you do the terms of service? I won't say because I actually have that steam mop. It's a really good one, but you don't want to connect on the Wi-Fi because it gives them permission to, just like I was talking about, scan a network to look for other things. They could scan anyone's network and look for other devices and probably go on them if they wanted to. Pull information.
God.
So what if you were targeting, just like the telecom, right? You're targeting someone. You knew what kind of devices they had. What if there was a vulnerability one day in one of those devices? It could be anything. It'd be a toaster. You could set it on fire or whatever. There's all sorts of things that you could possibly do if you wanted to really be paranoid, if a bad actor wanted to go after somebody. Now, the regular person in the world, probably not. You're going to be okay.
Right.
But, like if you want to get paranoid, it's pretty easy to. Like,
well, this is like the whole idea of the internet of everything.
Yes.
Right? Where everything is connected to Wi-Fi, so anybody can get access to you.
Yes.
At any time.
Yes.
It's funny. I had this dude on the podcast a couple of months ago who was explaining to me this whole story. It was such an elaborate fucking story that he went through. He kept evidence and receipts through the whole thing, where some Chinese hackers just started contacting him out of the blue and were like telling him things like about his personal life that no one else would know, like stuff that he would do in his apartment and stuff like this. Like apparently they were like watching him through his TV and listening to him through devices he had in his house. And even like a couple times he saw a drone outside of his window, and they were like trying to convince him to like be a Chinese spy and do all kinds of things. And this was all connected to like 5G and all. I mean, I don't remember it all perfectly, but do you remember that dude, Steve?
What was
that gentleman's name?
Max Lebo.
Max Lebo. Yeah, see if you can find like a summary of his story. He made a whole podcast about it. And it was fascinating. But I mean, that shit got my paranoia level to like a 12.
There's, I think too that, like when I worked in email security, you could have like, we call them mousetraps. You could have the best mousetrap, like on a computer, like an antivirus that would catch, a malware or a virus, right?
Right.
However, if I really wanted to go after you, I could go after you. I could find where you live. I could find your LinkedIn. I could find your favorite sports team. I could find your, mother's maiden name. And I could craft something that was so specific. I knew you were going to the Florida State football game this weekend. And here's the updated tickets because I know you're a season ticket holder because you post it all the time on Facebook. And if somebody wants, like, it's that human intelligence is what I'm getting at.
Right.
Somebody wants to go after somebody, they can. And I think that's where a lot of these like bad actor nation states, they're sending people like work visas or student visas here to infiltrate the U.S. I firmly believe that. Infiltrate, get information, and that human element is a very difficult thing to protect against.
Right.
Because that could come from anywhere. you don't know. Like they caught somebody recently for bringing a dang like biomedical or bio warfare. Did you see that from like China? It was like a student in Michigan, like 2 students in Michigan that are like biomed students.
When was this?
It was like past couple months.
Really?
And they brought a biochemical weapon for testing, and they illegally smuggled it into the U.S. and they're like facing charges now.
Oh my God.
And China sent them over here to do it.
See if you can find that, Steve.
I don't know if I described it well enough, but when I saw that, I'm like,
yeah.
I mean, that's it, man. The human side of it. There we go.
Students in Michigan. The University of Michigan has become the center of a controversy involving Chinese scholars allegedly attempting to smuggle biological materials into the United States, raising concerns about the national security of foreign influence in academic institutions. 2 Chinese nationals were arrested in June 2025. Holy shit, for attempting to smuggle a potential agro-terrorism weapon, fusarium and graminarium, into the country, which could devastate crops and pose a threat to food security. Holy shit, dude.
Nobody talks about
How did I not hear about this?
Yeah. And again, you start to think about food security. You start to think about what happened with the pandemic last time, how everybody freaked out. Nobody talks about the electric grid. Nobody talks about the water supply.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the most vulnerable.
Most vulnerable.
And
people can hack the electric grid, right?
Here's the thing. If you start to hear anyone talking about it, it means something's already happened. When I worked in cybersecurity, this is the average for a company to find out that something's happened in their network. So like someone's hacked them. The average days is 179 days for a company with all these tools and stuff to find out they've been hacked. That's just to find out that they've been hacked. That's not to investigate, to know who did it, to know what was taken, just to even find out that something happened. So when you start to hear about anything about the grid, anything about food supply, any of that, they already know.
Well, there was that crazy story that came out a couple of years ago, maybe it was a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, where they found out that through just pure incompetence, I think, that the government was buying Huawei telecommunication gear and installing that on cell phone towers right near our nuclear bases.
That's another thing. That's actually a really good point, because then you start to look at, this is crazy. I was thinking about this. You made me think. You look at like manufacturing. Manufacturing in the U.S. is completely vulnerable. Like the supply chain and all that kind of stuff. That's why we're trying to fix it right now as well.
Right.
We learned some lessons from the pandemic.
Yeah.
And the hard thing is you cannot protect these devices very well. They're getting better at it from a cybersecurity standpoint that are running these supply chain and manufacturing lines and stuff like that, because they're not like your regular laptop or something, but they're connected devices that are running these machines and stuff. Mm-hmm. So protecting those, it's kind of like having a microwave that's connected to Wi-Fi, but this is a computer that's not fully like a Windows machine or something that's connected into a supply, like a company's network. And if it goes down, the whole thing goes down. So how do you protect those? There's all sorts of things. But my point is with this are these chip manufacturers. That's why there's like such a race to like figure all that out and like make the US like try to lead in this space. Yeah. Because that is a huge security concern when you have chips that are being made overseas, different countries. There's on one of the chips, there's like AMD and Intel. On one of the chips, there's actually a thing where you could turn the computer on via the motherboard without the person even being there. And it's built into the chip. And it's literally like a checkbox to turn it on.
And this is one that's manufactured in China?
Well, it's one of the chip companies. I think it's Intel that had it. It might be AMD, but I remember when I was working at HP at the time, that was one of like our selling points. It was called like always on.
Right.
So like if you wanted to work on XYZ employee's computer, it had this always on thing. As long as it was like connected to the internet, you could turn it on without anyone knowing.
If I was China or Russia and the United States was buying computer chips from me, of course I would build a back door into all those computer 100%. Chips, especially if they're giving those to all the people that work for the FBI and the CIA and the Congress, whatever, anybody in government. And that's exactly what we did with the Promise software. Remember, you ever heard of the Promise software? It was the first software that was developed. I think it was in like the 80s, early 80s, where they basically needed to put all the court records, all like the legal documents around the country on like an online database.
Okay.
So that all the courts could like just keyword search for specific files on specific people, because people were like slipping through the cracks all the time. So when they developed this, we started selling it to other countries so they could use it, and we built a back door into it so we could spy on their government.
Yeah, very smart.
So that's crazy. If they're, that's why I think Taiwan is such a like a important thing for this whole thing with Taiwan and the race to get it, like with the tug of war with the US and China.
Yeah, Taiwan. We have so many critical components. Now, I'm not saying that everything's going to be manufactured here in the US, but like we have so many critical components that are they're manufactured overseas. Not to say that every country is like doing all these bad things, but you want to have a critical look at the stuff. Like even every hard drive, like there's big companies that buy hard drives for servers and stuff like that are going in our cloud environments from overseas. Like, and if there's a shortage, so we need to look at that better. And that's like that's a Trojan horse to get in through actual chip manufacturers and hardware components and things like that. So it's going to be interesting because there's a ripple effect if one thing goes down, man, whether it's grid or food supply or water supply. Right. Think about like the local municipality or whatever that runs the water for a small city and they get hacked.
Yeah. Oh my God. Imagine how much that would fuck shit up, dude.
Yeah. Like that stuff's scary to me.
You can't get clean water anymore.
Yeah.
Now what?
It's tough.
I think we take a lot of things for granted in the US.
Yeah.
A lot of things, like life's so easy here. And we don't live in a war-torn part of the world.
Yeah.
And I think we get comfortable because we're surrounded. We have these two big oceans on each side of us, so we're not worried about people like storming the beach of New Jersey.
Yeah.
But now in today's day and age, that's like, fuck, man, the tides are turning. Yeah. And it's scary to think like what's going to happen with technology. Like a guy really laid it out to me perfectly before on this podcast, a former CIA guy. He was explaining to me this exact thing, and he was saying like, if the U.S. is no longer the global superpower, say like China or something, like their GDP and everything overtakes us as far as like military superpower and GDP alone, and we become number 2 or number 3. Well, now what happens is when your kid is born and you're a U.S. citizen, now you have to teach your kid a second language. Like you almost have to, if you want to, like in any of these other countries, and you have a kid and you don't teach them English, they're automatically at a disadvantage.
Yes.
So like that's not something we think about in America. We're not worried about teaching our kids a second language so they can survive and like thrive.
Yeah.
But those are things you just don't think about.
Yeah, we're the, like even I don't know what the median income is in the US, for instance, but like what we consider to be poor or downtrodden here is pretty dang good in a lot of other countries. And a lot of times too, like we got it good when people are worried about whatever we fight about in today's day and age here in the US. We've got like these non-fundamental things where people are fighting for, like, for instance, I was talking about like the scammers in Kolkata when the pandemic hit, their unemployment rate was 45%.
Wow.
Like, do you know the amount of chaos in any big city if there was 45% unemployment rate?
Right.
It would be anarchy.
Oh yeah.
And we have anarchy when people don't like who gets voted in and, or whatever's happening.
Right.
We have people doing stuff.
Right.
And like real hurt and real pain that people are feeling, like over in India or whatever. Like imagine that if that hit the States, it would be terrible. And like, that's why I try to look at, all of the stuff from a different lens, because yes, we are extremely fortunate, and it's not some guy, like the approach we take is not, just some dude making YouTube videos to make money. What we do is we're trying to help people, and we try to even help. Like, for instance, we had a guy in Kolkata that I was on the phone with him, and he thought I was like a grandpa, and he started like crying on the phone. And he said, "Hey, I don't want to do this. I just started. Like, I'm really sorry." Like, a lot of them are BSing, but this guy was like very legit. He was just now getting married. So, and this isn't a pat on my back or anything. I'm just kind of telling you the story. Like, we paid for, like, he quit scamming. We paid for him to have, like, we got him a gift for his wedding, and then we paid for him for an apartment complex, or for apartment for he and his wife for like a whole year.
In Kolkata?
Yeah. And I don't know, it touched a certain part in my heart, because you can tell when someone's being genuine about something or just BSing. Like, a lot of the scammers, they'll be like, I'll tell them where they're located. They're like, we're not here. We're in Pakistan. We're in Lahore, Pakistan. And you're like, you're not in Pakistan. I know exactly where you are. And then you have a guy like this, his name was Karan, and he was sending me pictures. He got a new job. He was sending me pictures of he and his, wife after the ceremony. Both of his parents died. One of them died during the pandemic. Another one died just, I don't know, sickness or whatever. I don't know the whole story. But he showed me all of these things that were going on in his life. And it brings like the realism, like the gravity of the situation to me. Like, there are people over there. They're not bad people. Right. Not all people from India are bad or scammers or whatever.
Right.
There are people that are just trying to survive.
Sure.
And I try to take a lens, like, it's heavy, like, on these calls, because we're, joking and doing all this stuff. But like, there are people.
If you were him, if you were in his situation with his life, would you do anything? Would you do different things differently? Who knows?
I mean, as a family man, like, with a wife and with kids, like, that's my number one priority. I would do anything to fight for my family.
Right.
And, like, I can't imagine, like, even from like clean water and air conditioning, like, we have such good lives here.
Yeah.
Such good lives. And, so I don't know, that's one of the approaches I try to take, is one of humanity. Like, people are people. I try to see people like how God sees them. And we are all children of God. And I try to see through that lens, no matter what I may be feeling. I try to see differently, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah, that's a good thing to do.
And call it spiritual or whatever, but like, I try to see just differently. I do get frustrated at these guys. I get mad because I see the stuff that happens, but I try to also, they're people too. So anyway.
Totally. Yeah. And then, like, a lot of this stuff can be, like, going back to like what we were talking about with this internet of everything and everything being connected to Wi-Fi and things like this. Like, it's all not necessarily like, it's easy to look at it and say, oh, this is evil. They're trying to control everybody. But the other thing is, people are just trying to make more money and figure out ways to be more efficient. Yeah. Which could be, this stuff can be taken and used for evil. But like, the initial idea of it might not be evil. Yes. Like these things where they want to, like, using like health devices, like iWatches or the Apple Watches or whatever. Yeah. And like, insurance companies trying to get the data from Apple on this person's like daily heart rate or whatever, or their respiratory rate to see, like, okay, how much are we gonna fucking make this person pay for on their monthly premium? Yeah. Because we can hack into or we have access to all their health devices, their watches, and see what their health is. And like, yeah, people are going to use this stuff to make money. And that's the problem when you have these multinational corporations and these billionaires who they just want more control over people so they can gain more money or more political power. And that's the problem with everything. That's the problem with, and they use this stuff as like a political football to try to like buy influence in the government, to try to push their objectives, and to try to further their financial goals or whatever it is.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of life goes down to like money and greed, unfortunately. And from money, there comes power, and power could be political or whatever it may be. And I think that is going to be the interesting thing, is like, first thing, they always put the agreements, that all the click through that you agree to, like, right at the most, like, oh, I need the software installed right now. So we're going to say, like, do you agree to everything? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's at 99% installed and you need the app.
Right. Am I going to read 16 pages?
Exactly. No, I just want to get the watch working.
Right. Right.
But you're just giving your life away now. And even with the cookies now, go look at every website you go to now. They had I don't know what they did, but there's I guess there's regulation or something around data protection or something. But now all these websites, whatever one you go to, they're going to pop up cookies.
Every website.
And you got to choose which ones you want. So now you've got to tell every website which cookies you want, which ones you don't want, accept all, reject all. It's ridiculous.
Right.
And to your point, it comes with power. Like even like social media, that's how their number one goal is to keep you on.
Yes.
So that they can, and that's in and of itself inherently manipulative and controlling. And you're controlling for what reason? Because you want them to have a good experience? No.
Right.
You want them, consuming your advertisers to make money for, why is that? Because you're publicly traded, to keep your revenues up and your growth up and your, users. But again, half of your users are bots. So like, it's all interesting, but it comes down to greed, money, control. And
the scariest part about it to me is that these big social media companies are openly, and it's been exposed, are infiltrated by the government to find, like, their excuses to find bad guys.
Yeah.
But who knows what else they're doing? Like, I don't know if you saw like the whole Twitter files debacle that happened a couple months ago, or a couple of years ago, where they basically find out that like Twitter's whole moderation staff was having like weekly meetings with FBI and CIA to like control discourse and like getting incentivized to ban certain people around certain speech or whatever it was. And it's just like if Twitter was manipulated or infiltrated by government agencies to that degree, imagine what how bad Google is, where Google actually makes the products now. They make the phones and the computers and stuff like this. And Google was funded and incubated by the CIA, and like the whole PageRank thing came from DARPA, which was a government like military contractor.
Yeah.
So if this is their product and that's where all this stuff came from, it's just like at what point do you just give up and just say whatever, just spy on me all you want? Like it's just too much work to try to protect yourself.
It's it's like, that's what I was saying earlier. Like if you're the common person, I don't know how to describe it, but like if you're just Bobby from Massachusetts.
Right. And you have kids and a wife and you have a date, you work a 9 to 5. Sure. You don't have time to focus on this shit.
No, you don't. And you don't have time to go through the cookies, and you don't have time to like read the, what Instagram is collecting on your data, and you don't have time to read all that stuff. It's so much my wife and I were talking about this, like it's overload. It's all like a sensory overload, all the social media. Like I don't have any social media except for, I have YouTube.
Yeah.
It's too much, man. And they're collecting all of our data. They're watching us. It's like at one point you're like, just take my data. Like, you want to know everything that we're doing. Like you're going to find, like if somebody wants to know, they're going to find out. If it's the government, I think like when you think about like the Twitter files, for instance, it does put a chill up your spine, because I'm not saying there's rogue agents or whatever. However, like whose decision is that? Like who's deciding, hey, go and talk to Twitter now and make sure that this is moderated? And then who's moderating that person of like what's right and what's wrong? What's the moral compass of what is good and what is bad? Is it the Constitution? What is it? What's the moral compass? Because I assume most of the stuff is freedom of speech, unless somebody says this isn't freedom of speech, this is whatever, terrorism or something.
Right.
I don't know. And that's a really crazy, because they didn't have social media back then.
Right, exactly. So, they could never have anticipated all this.
It's crazy to me that and the other thing too, like I would have maybe been a little bit more chill if they came out and said, hey, we were doing this, versus like somebody had to buy the freaking company and show everybody after that. Like that's kind of crazy. It took a billionaire to buy a company and have all the scrutiny and then just release all the files.
Well, that's the crazy thing about it. Like if someone gives you a cloak of invisibility and secrecy, does that enable good behavior or bad behavior?
Right. Yeah. If you're not getting in trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of this thing, it's not like some big evil monolith. The government is like, there's like 2 million employees in the US government. So of course there's going to be bad apples that are going to like paint it in a bad light, and it's easy. And people can get compromised, and that's an institutional rot that is so deep. It's so rooted so deep. Yeah. And I think we're seeing that, like what's going on with this whole Epstein file debacle right now. Like I don't think I've seen anything that is like so bad that could actually cause like a real revolution in the country, unless like you figure out that everyone who's running the company is a pedophile.
Yeah.
Then I can see like an actual like violent revolution happening.
Yeah. I was watching some of the stuff that you were talking about on it, and I'm trying to think like,
can we hack somebody and figure out what that? Can you get the Epstein files?
Yeah. There's, like I said, there's a lot more smarter people than myself. But like, I don't know what the answer is with all this, because it's either somebody like has the hard drive somewhere with everything, and it's never going to, just like we're never going to see like our gold reserve or whatever, right? Like you're never going to see this, and it's so bad that everybody is somehow tied to this thing. I don't know. I think that, I've been thinking a lot about, and this is maybe my conspiracy side or whatever, but like what is really happening if they're pointing in this direction, what's happening on that direction. And because we do this on like our scam calls, we try to point the scammer one way so we can do something else. And these types of distractions that go on, like the timing of things, like especially with all the wars and stuff that, with Iran and with Israel that were happening anyway, and the bombings and all that. And then all this stuff starts to happen right after, and Israel's coming, to the U.S. to talk to the U.S. And it's a crazy scenario that I think that the American public, though, they want clarity, whether it's good or bad. I think that's something that we can all agree upon, is like, if it is the bad news, just like tell us the bad news and we'll try to figure it out. Like as a country and as a people, like tell us about, like, give us the transparency of who was spying on who, and was Russia true, and all the stuff, like the Epstein files, who's on the list, if you had the list, and who did this and who did that, because everybody knows that people went to to the island, right? Like they've seen the photos and all that kind of stuff. So I think people just want transparency, and it doesn't matter what political party. That's the annoying thing, is like everyone's playing it like a political football of like dangling it. Oh, see, we're in a Senate hearing and we put this up for motion, and then somebody rejected it because you threw it on them randomly, and then you make them look bad as if they're hiding something, right? And none of them know anyway. Like,
it's such a convoluted, complicated, just sick game. Yeah, and like even the idea like of people like supporting certain parties, like, no, I support this president, I support that president. Well, it's not supposed to be, you're not supposed to like support these people. They're supposed to support us. Yes. It's supposed to be by the people, for the people. We're not supposed to be in these two cults that worship these idols. Yeah. It's it's so backwards.
And when you get into social media and AI, like we've been talking about, and data, and like the internet of whatever, all bots essentially. Yeah. That's where you start to talk about manipulation, and people need to wake up and understand that you're arguing with a computer. Right. You're not arguing with, like, go step outside and look at the, heliocentric or geocentric world, whatever you want to believe, right? Go look outside and take a deep breath. And the person that you're talking to with two first names that has no followers is not a real person, man. Right. Like, don't get so upset. Don't get so riled up. And we live in a very, that tribalism, just like, it's like almost worse than like sports teams now. Like everyone's got their sports team and their player on each team. Right. And if you don't like that team,
that's exactly what it is. Anyway, it's a way for them just to divide people so that they can control us easier, I think.
We have commonalities. Everybody wants to like make good money, take care of their families, have a house, have a future, be safe, have food, basic things. Like everybody wants those things. And that's why, like, you made a really good point that kind of stuck with me, where our country in particular, I mean, there's other countries like this, but our country in particular, we got it dang good and we don't know. And it takes, again, like the pandemic to show like, hey, we got it good. Remember when everybody was afraid if you went to the supermarket and you had to spray your tables down at your house because it could supposedly jump from your hands to the table and stay for 2 weeks? Right. That was the world we were living in for a while. Yeah. Like, it's going to be okay. There's some hope. There's light at the end of the tunnel, right? There's hope. There's a future, there's a God that protects us and looks over us. Like, loves us, and like we need to go more towards that versus like the tribalism and the hate. Like there's so much hate, and there's a reason. There's something that's driving that, man. You know, there's a force that drives that hate, and people want us hating each other.
And I think the bots actually add fuel to that fire too, because there's this phenomena that happens in like the comment sections of videos that I've noticed. To where like if there are 10 bot comments saying one thing about the video, like, oh, this person's a fed piece of shit retard or whatever, and somebody new comes in, like a real person comes in who actually has a brain, like a independent thought, capable of independent thought. It's still like a psychological phenomena where there's like this pylon effect where you don't want to be the only person who like disagrees by using rational thought. You just want to pile on to that narrative. 100%. So then it just becomes more in this, it just becomes this crazy snowball effect where it's like, now, like, I'm going on reading the comments, which a lot of people do on YouTube. They won't even watch it. They just go straight to the comments. And say, oh, everyone's saying this. This must be real. Look at this. Look at this comment. And you send it because it's funny or whatever. And now, like, it becomes like this weird thing. Like, it's like impregnated in your mind to where, you know, this was totally manufactured. Like, it's not even real.
And what's your reality? Your reality becomes what somebody fed to you versus your own. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't even experience things. Like, I think about, like, people, for instance, like somebody that goes to a concert and they're obsessed with taking video and photos of the whole concert. I'm like, why aren't you just enjoying the concert? Like, listen to the music. It's the last, you know, the last Blink 182 concert, and the guy came back from having cancer and all this stuff. And you're taking videos the whole time so you can post it somewhere to get likes. And that's the realm that we've moved into.
Yeah, because they get dopamine from people thinking that they're cool, you know, like, oh, you went and saw this. That's so cool. Like, I'm going to leave a comment or a like, and it makes me feel good about it.
Yeah, look what my life is. Like experience what my life, even though I'm not experiencing it, I want somebody else to experience my experience, even though I'm not. I'm taking a video of it. I'm not even living it. That's so backwards to me. I have such like a thing. I feel like Larry David sometimes. Like, I'm like, I've got such a thing against that. Like, I feel like, you know, I'm like, why do people do that? Like we that's what I was saying. Like, go outside and like look up at the clouds and look at the sky and look at beauty of the earth. Like, we have to create our own experiences to live within. And we get sucked into, like what you're saying, these realities, social media comments, what everybody else is manufacturing for us to believe and think, and like piling on. Like, it made me think about, like, there's some CIA thing I think that they did with regards to, you had like 16 CIA people and one regular person, and they're all in a room, and they all had a piece of paper with a square on it, and all the CIA people said it was a triangle, and then it got to the last person, and then that person said it was a triangle because everybody else said it was a square or whatever, or a triangle.
Oh, wow.
And even though it was a square, and they saw the square and they called it a triangle because they were manipulated.
Right.
And people don't have that. It's like, they don't have that foundation anymore. Like, we're so easily swayed by what somebody, like, we see something, right? You see something on social media. Like, for instance, whatever it is, like the Epstein file stuff, and everybody has an instant opinion on it. And like you said, someone goes to the comments, and then you form your opinion based off of like whatever the top thing is anyway. You haven't read the story, you haven't watched the video, you haven't done anything, and you're piling on, and somebody's made your reality. So
I think that's like, if anything, I think the overwhelming growth of technology and AI and using AI to do stuff is the one thing it's going to suppress is the use of independent thought.
Yeah.
You know, like actually sitting there and thinking through something.
Yes.
Which I've noticed has like, it's degraded a lot over the past few years.
I blame Jersey Shore for that. I have a whole thing on that, but anyway.
The Jersey Shore?
Yeah, the MTV show.
Oh, yeah.
Jersey Shore.
I'm familiar with it.
I blame them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's because, like, so my point with it is, like, people like crave genuine connection. In relationships, friendships, life, business, they want genuine connection with somebody. That's why, like, your show does really well. You have genuine connection when you're talking with somebody, right? And like, it's this idea that, like, at first, like, Jersey Shore was like, oh, these people, they're going to the summer house and yelling at each other, and it's like, this is so real because we do this with our friends, you know? It's so genuine and real. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait, that person seems like they're planted. This is like the 7th season and they're still doing the same thing. And all these, it's like crazier every year, just like The Bachelor, right?
Right.
This is the most ridiculous rose ceremony ever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where like, I have a point with all this, but like we are craving genuine connection with people. That's why like YouTube, for instance, I think it's not reality TV. It's not these manufactured, scripted, unscripted shows that people just mind-numbingly watch. They want information. They crave information. They crave connection.
Right.
They crave to hear stories. Like they go to your podcast and listen to these incredible stories. They want that. People want that. So that's why I think it's going to continue to win out. There's so much brain rot. However, people that are like connected into reality and are above like that, like kind of like lower frequency thinking.
Yeah.
And like are creating like moments in life and like creating with others and living their lives versus like this live vicariously through the masses.
Right.
It's going to win out. It's going to be really cool to see.
Yeah, I think so too, man.
Really quick question. Do you guys ever get scammers in your comments?
Oh,
like pretending to be you?
Oh yeah, definitely. I've seen that a bunch.
If you want, you can send some to me. We can go after them if you want.
Really?
Oh yeah. And I can show you some scammers if you want to.
Steve, you want to try to do that? Let's take a quick break. We'll take a bathroom break,
sure.
and then we'll see if we can find some comments, and maybe we can fuck with some people.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We'll be right back. The other thing I want to ask you is like, as far as devices go, like what types of devices do you typically use? Or like what kind of devices are like the most safe for protecting yourself against this kind of stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest part is like cyber hygiene, if that makes sense. So like equate it to like brushing your teeth and flossing. Nobody likes to do it, but it's good for your health.
Right.
Okay. I like analogies.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. So like the way I think of it is, so when I talk about cyber hygiene, I talk about like managing your data. So like the data brokers, like figure out whatever program you want to use to like get those like taken care of where your data is off the internet. The second thing is like email and password management. So everybody has like 20 passwords for 20 different websites, like Amazon, Target, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Yeah. The hardest thing is, for instance, say there's a data breach. The MyFitnessPal app has a data breach. You know that one that like tracks all your fitness. I think it's MyFitnessPal. Anyway, it's like a similar thing, workout app or something like just whatever app. Let's say they have a data breach, and your password and your email is a part of that. So a hacker has your password and your email for that app. Now, what they do is they take that information. They go to any other website. So they go to like Target.com. And they use that same email and password. And all of a sudden they're logged into your Target account. And your Target account has your credit card in it because nobody likes to put in their credit card multiple times.
Right.
So they save it in there. And then all of a sudden someone's buying TVs and shipping it to New York at a Target to pick up using your credit card because of a data breach from another app. And that's a problem.
Yeah.
So that actually happened to us. I was notified by American Express about that because somebody took information from a data breach, used it on another site, had our credit card stored. So the point is, from a cyber hygiene standpoint, is you want to have different passwords for like all of these different kinds of websites. And it's kind of a difficult process, but it's not really. Like I was talking about Proton, for instance.
Yeah.
So like Proton Mail. So you can actually have like family kind of email accounts. So you have this encrypted email and they have a password function. So like you can go to Amazon and it'll create a crazy password for you, like 20 characters that nobody will be able to figure out.
Okay.
So that's the first step. The second step, it'll save it and encrypt it for you so you can save it.
Proton will.
Correct. So you don't have to have it memorized. Third thing, you could share it between your family members. So if you want your wife to have the Amazon password, here's the encrypted password. Now, when she goes to Amazon, it's all there in her phone, encrypted, safe, and all that. So you don't have to have one password for everything.
Right.
So then you can go to all of these different sites and use all different passwords. So if there is a data breach, you're not screwed. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
The other part about it is our email addresses are like our social security number nowadays. So whatever, pierogi@gmail.com. Right. So let's say there's a data breach And that Gmail is screwed now because everybody knows Pierogi at gmail.com. Now, what you can do with like Proton, for instance, they're called email alias. So you can create an alias.
Right.
So you have your main Proton account, and then you can create an alias literally for any website that you want. So let's say you're on Amazon, and just to keep with the theme, and you want to protect your Amazon account. You don't want to give them your real email. So you give them this alias. And now every time you log in from the alias, and it's automatically saved and all that kind of stuff. So if there is a data breach or you start getting spam to that, you can just kill that alias and create a new one. So your actual physical, or not physical, but your actual email is not messed with.
So you create a separate, like an alias email for every single login.
And Proton automatically makes those. I think it's absolutely genius.
So, but like, when you have an email address with Proton, does it have to be at protonmail.com?
No, you can have it at like, if you had like a family domain.
You can connect a domain to it?
Yep.
So I had this guy, Robert Epstein, on the show. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He has this this thing he's been doing for a few years where he's basically like, his whole mission is to like protect people from Google spying on you, right? And one of the biggest things that he discovered was that like, they can access all of your stuff with like, not just your Gmail, but like if you have like the Google Workplace like we have, he's like, they can get into that easily. They not only that, but they own Nest, who makes the security cameras and all this other stuff. Yes. So it's like, he was looking at me like I had 3 heads when I was telling him that I use Gmail. He's like, why the hell would you use Gmail? And I was like, I don't know. I don't think about this stuff like you do.
Yeah.
But he only uses Proton Mail.
Yeah. It's like a mental shift to kind of get out of the zombie realm of everybody uses Gmail.
Right.
And Proton's made it actually really easy. You click a single button and it moves everything over. It moves all your emails over from Gmail to your Proton. It's super easy.
So if somebody's emailing me in my old email address, you can make that forward to Proton?
Yeah, you can make it forward over if you want. And then you can move everything over just so you have a historical, like, this is an email from my grandma from 10 years ago. If you want to move all that stuff over, you can.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then they have a documents as well. So just like Google Docs, they have that. They have a file transfer. So you can securely transfer files to people. You could password protect files, all sorts of things. It's all encrypted. And you don't have, again, these are set upon like the Switzerland, like data protection laws. So there's a lot of strict laws with regards to that. I know there'll probably be people that are like, oh no, if a government wants to, then they can get it. But they're not like actively scanning everybody's stuff, to sell to an advertiser.
You're making it a lot harder.
Yeah. I was in the shower singing and all of a sudden I'm getting an ad. You know what I'm saying? Like they're listening, those times when you're like, how is my phone listening to me? Because it is listening to you.
Right. That's
how like Gmail's listening and watching and scanning, and the Nest knows when you leave. The Nest knows when you come back. They all know.
Right.
So they can sell you, so they can advertise to you, and that's what they want to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I would imagine that you have lots of crazy precautions that you have for like, I'm sure you don't use any Nest shit, I imagine.
I love the Nest, man. I do? I love the Nest. Like, because at some point you have to live your life a little bit and not live in fear. So I don't live in fear of like the big bad government, watching and like, cause if they want to get information, they could subpoena and get your information if they want to, or what, you know what I mean? Like if they want to, they could find a reason to. And I like unfortunately, I like the convenience of some of these things that we have. I like the convenience of going on an app and changing the temperature, which we kind of talked about earlier, how like spoiled we are to be able to change the temperature or tell
Come on Alexa. In. This is Forrest. Forrest is here.
Up, man?
He's here to find a charger. Oh, wait, you find one?
Maybe. Is that the right size?
I don't know.
We're going to check. Let's see. We're trying to charge Pierogi's computer so we can do some live hacking here.
Yeah, so it's like
just slim barrel.
Yeah.
Okay, give me a minute.
Okay.
Forrest will do it. He's a wizard.
Yes.
He'll figure it out.
Because a lot of them are saying incompatible.
This is the right size, but I need to find an adapter.
Yep. You got the right brick, you just need an adapter? What about your webcam? Do you tape your webcam?
Yeah, I think that's always someone's probably like number one fear is like who's watching through the camera, Like,
but it's on your phone too. You have a forward facing camera on your phone too.
Yeah. And like what kind of embarrassing times, like what if somebody had access to my phone and, I'm walking around with my shirt off or, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like it can be tough.
Can I see the computer?
Yeah.
I just want to see if it has USB-C.
Yeah, it does.
Can you charge through it?
It was giving me.
Sorry, Tyler, you're going to have to edit this one, brother.
Recognizing it, but it was like.
I might have one of those. Let me check that one.
It was recognizing it, but giving it problems. So, but yeah, like.
Actually, just leave it in. I'm talking to the editor right now who's going to be editing this. Just leave all this in there. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's
if you try to chop it, it's just going to make it unmanageable. So
yeah, that's fair. I left my charger.
This makes it more fun.
It's my fault.
Next time, we'll
computer guy doesn't bring a freaking charger. But yeah, like that is something. Like I don't get scared, or maybe it's paranoid if I continue to think about it.
Yeah.
But like there's things that you can do. Like for instance, if you have, like we were talking about, like hacking the CCTV. Like we have cameras in our office.
Right.
And you can make like those, they call them IoT devices, Internet of Things. You can make those devices only like run internally on your network and not be like outwardly internet facing, if that makes sense.
Right.
So like some of these cameras and stuff like that, they just talk out to the internet. So the routers are getting better where you can say, hey, this can't go out to the internet. This can't talk to any of these other devices.
Yeah.
So it's called, like, the way I think about it is like network segmentation. That like a lot of enterprise security does, where they will take like a hospital, for instance, they'll take like insulin pumps and all these things, and they'll segment them out on this little virtual network that like nothing else can talk to.
Right. What do you got?
What's up?
Hey, laptop cam. This is 100 watt. Let's try this real quick.
Okay.
Forrest, what are the cameras that we got in the warehouse?
Ubiquity.
Yes.
Ubiquity? You ever heard of those?
Good. Yes.
That's good?
Yes.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Ubiquity is great.
Yeah, he just put a bunch of Ubiquity cameras in our new place.
Ubiquity's really nice.
Yeah, they're badass.
Yeah,
and it's like I think it's almost the UI is like better than Nest.
Yeah,
you can like scroll through all of it like super fast.
Yeah, the
no lag.
Ubiquity's nice. It if you have they have a Dream, it's called Dream Machine, that has like a big hard drive in it, and you can record. It's an NVR. You can record all the CCTV footage and cameras and stuff.
Yeah, but
it's also bad if you have a hacker that gets in, then they can get to all that footage and download it essentially.
Right.
Excuse me, but I mean, I like as far as at my house. I mean, we do stuff at our office.
Yeah. What about phones? Are you one of those people that doesn't like iPhones or Apple stuff and only does Android? Or
I love Apple, man.
You love Apple?
Yeah.
Is Apple the most secure?
Like the tech space there's always these like wonderful debates, I guess, and everybody's got an opinion.
Yeah.
It's almost like politics sometimes, in my opinion, like this side versus that side, Droid, and
yeah, it is.
This one's more secure, this one's open source, and that.
Right.
For me, it's like, can you make my life easier?
Yeah.
I don't think that. I think if you're using a phone in the purpose that it needs to be used for, you're not going to get hacked. And you're not like. I think if you can do the cyber hygiene around your data and your passwords and your email, that is
the
like
basic stuff.
Yeah, that is like the most critical.
Yep. Because
people don't do that, and then they've had the same password for like 19 years.
That's me.
You need Proton will tell you, man. It'll say, I mean, even iPhone you can go into your passwords if you have them stored on your phone, and it'll tell you if they've been part of data breaches or if it's a weak password. It'll tell you.
I use a third-party app that stores all my passwords for all my websites, where it saves all of them for everything.
Yes.
So if that place ever got data breached, I'd be.
Yeah, there was one. There was who was it?
Oh, I don't know.
There was a data breach. One of the big password managers got hacked. But that's, again, at the end of the day, there's going to be the.
But
dam
Proton
that
does the
somewhere.
same thing. They manage all those passwords for you too.
Yeah, it's encrypted and all that kind of stuff. But like, I trust. Yeah, who was it? Yeah, LastPass got breached. 22. Yeah.
Shit.
Sensitive data through compromised employee account. So again,
no, wait, I have LastPass.
Well, better
don't tell people that, Steve. Jesus.
But yeah, that like, because what they're trying to get into, like for here it says is linked to cryptocurrency heist. So they're trying to get anything that has access to crypto. Like that's what these people want. They don't want the everyday person. They want to find, like, they're looking for something in particular. So Like, do we need to worry about, we need to, like, you need to do cyber hygiene things. Like, you're at the airport, don't plug in your phone into like the USB thing. Mm-hmm. Like there's a random cable laying around. Don't plug that in. Like, we have cables that you can plug into any computer, any phone, and it will give you access to it. And it looks just like an iPhone charger. Yeah. I'll send you one if you want. It's incredible.
So how does it work? You plug it into any phone?
You plug it in and it works like it's charging. Like, I could give you one. You would plug in your iPhone to charge, and we would have access to it. Or your laptop.
Over the air.
Yes. It creates like a wireless connection back to wherever we want to connect to.
Oh my God, dude.
So you could even like Wi-Fi networks, like you could be at
airport Wi-Fi,
Starbucks. You could spoof a Starbucks connection, and then people go in, hey, in order to use Starbucks Wi-Fi, you need to sign into your Gmail account. It's a spoof Gmail, super easy to do.
What about hotel Wi-Fi?
Hotel, same kind of thing.
So just use your phone, the tethering from your phone.
If you're paranoid about it, I wouldn't trust, obviously, the network. Don't do anything too crazy on there. You could surf the web, I guess, if you want to, but like, don't go onto your bank account on the hotel network.
Right.
Like, those are kind of like common sense things to do if you're accessing like super sensitive information. Tether off your phone. If you're watching the basketball game, you can use use the Wi-Fi. It's fine, but don't plug into stuff. Like, if you need to charge, like, sorry, just like don't plug in. Right. Yeah, the OMG cables. Yep.
That's it. The OMG cable.
Sir. Those are amazing. We have like.
So how do you use them?
Well, so what I was saying was like the guys. So Ryan Montgomery used this to hack us. That's like a bit. So I'm sitting there and we're calling scammers, and all of a sudden I see like an additional like network adapter pop up on my screen. Like you're watching the screen and you see something, you're like, what is that? So he went in and he plugged one of these into my USB on like in my little server room. Yeah. And it just pops up as another network connection. So I had some other security tools on my computer. And the unfortunate part is it just sees it as a network connection. It's not malware, like it just looks like a network connection, but he has like a tunnel back to his computer. Right. He starts opening my notepad and talking to me and all this stuff in like minutes. And again, it goes to, there's always going to be a way, like just something like this. You could like, think about this. You could go to like a hospital, like using those examples, because hospital actually have
their chargers.
They have really bad security hospitals, because a lot of them, there are like not government run hospitals, but like, like local ones, like even down here in Florida, there's ones that are tied into the city and stuff like that. And they don't have great funding for security. You could go in here and you could drop a USB drive that says like sensitive, doctor, like with a name, somebody plugs it in, and then the computer gets compromised right there and that's where a lot of security tools are going towards now, is they're trying to look at devices that get plugged in and make sure like nothing can run off of them. So, but that's not very difficult. You just bring somebody over, drop a USB drive, and then walk away.
Somebody came in here the other day and gave me this and told me to use it. I'm afraid to plug that in.
I would not plug that in. Dude, I don't, especially if you don't know who they are, I would never plug that in.
Look at the name.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I would never touch that.
Can you show the camera?
No, I'm not going to do that.
I mean, it's unfortunate because you want to trust people, but in this space, you have to not trust people. Right. Or the stuff that you see. It's tough. And so it comes down to like devices, your home network, all that. Like iPhones are fine. Yeah. Don't download nefarious stuff. Right. And like, I mean, I don't know. I guess Androids are fine too. I'm an Apple guy because I like having like Apple TV and iPhones and, AirPods and all that kind of stuff. It all kind of connects together. Like, it's fun to share your audio. Like, I can share music with my wife through the AirPods, it's kind of nice. So
yeah, it is. The Apple ecosystem's great.
Yeah,
too. Like even on here, like I had to convince Steve for like 3 months to get an iPhone because it's so much easier. I can just send him stuff and he can pull up on his laptop with iMessage.
You know the best bit to do on an airplane?
What?
AirDrop. You ever done that?
Oh, I've heard about this, but I haven't done it. I heard there was a story where a bunch of girls sent like naked photos of themselves on the pilot.
Oh no! So
and the pilot got on the intercom. He's like, "You ladies need to stop it, or I'm going to ground this airplane right now."
Yep. They so people were sending out like it's just I guess a spoofed image or something of like a pilot that was like shirtless or naked or something, and he sent it out or somebody sent it out and said like, "Hey, we're ready to take off. I'm ready to take off," or something like that. And they sent it to everyone on airdrop, and they thought it was the pilot like naked in the cockpit.
Oh my god!
So like when my team and I, whenever we're traveling, we are always airdropping. And it's hilarious because people just leave their airdrop on and you can like, like, I don't know. It's just silly. We just have, like it's nothing nefarious, but like, it's just a fun, that's why I like stuff like that. It makes it like, that makes like, that's why gadgets are fun. That's, you know, you're having fun.
Yeah. No, I think that story, but that thing was like, I guess the pilot, they thought he was hot or something. So like these girls were like on like a bachelorette party or whatever. So they sent a bunch of like titty pics to this guy.
Oh
he was threatening to ground the airplane. Like,
really? Oh my gosh. I didn't know that. I always knew about the other side. I didn't know that. I thought it was they were trolling the pilot by making him like look like he was the naked one.
But, yeah. That must have been a different story.
But yeah, there's so many stories of even like the Wi-Fi, like, you know, Delta Wi-Fi and all that kind of stuff. Not to say it's not necessarily, that guy.
He sent that out?
Yeah.
That's
well,
hilarious.
he didn't send it. So somebody sent that or maybe he did send it.
Quick
no,
selfie
there's no
before.
way. There's no way he sent that.
Right.
No, somebody else is doing it on his behalf.
Oh
But
my
see, it's
god,
like-
that's hilarious, dude.
And then everybody panics. And you can see like people's reactions when they're getting these airdrops because it's forced to like their screen and they have to like either accept it or whatever.
Right.
But we would like take pictures of people like just like behind their head and like send it to them. And then they're like looking around to see who it is, you know? We're just like, see, he's.
Oh my god.
That's
dude.
funny.
Hey, Steve, show Pierogi the video of that app, that voice changing app.
Oh yeah.
There was this app that Steve just found where, yes, this right here. Have you seen this? He just found this. Watch this.
Oh, wow.
All right, press play. No, turn it off first. There you go.
And I'm the elder one, like I'm ruling the family right now. And like I'm really very glad that I have got this opportunity to rule my own family being a girl. Like I'm glad that I have got this opportunity.
Dang.
Watch.
Hi, my name is Annika Reyes. 31 years old, from Capitan Pepe, Cabanatuan City in Nueva Ecija.
It's not that great.
Back then there are words.
I thought it was better.
Is this all through web?
This is real-time AI translations for like
So it's
telemarketers.
It's like a hardware audio device.
No, it's an AI service that you Sanus is just an AI service.
Yeah,
that
but wouldn't you need an
subscribe to.
audio or wouldn't you need a hardware device to like filter that?
Well, so the reason I was asking is because I was using a voice modulator that does AI and it is so intensive on the computer.
Oh,
and it's
really?
like you'll say something and there's like a 3-second lag because it has to process everything and not translate it. It has to whatever, like if you're trying to be a grandma or something, it has to change the pitch of my voice and all these kinds of things. So I could make my voice sound like Betty White. So I could say, hey, make me sound like Betty White. And then I start talking in my voice and then it's like, hey. But it takes a while. So that's why I was asking on this, because if you're like, you could theoretically route if this is what it does. But it sounds like it's all through the web. So you could route, because a lot of the scammers use these like web-based like tools and stuff like that. They could route their audio possibly through this, which would be interesting. I just don't know if they technically, like if their computers are good enough to handle these kinds of things. I really don't.
Right.
Like,
yeah, they're super taxing on the processor.
yeah. And they use like throwaway computers because I wonder why. So, yeah. But that's where that stuff goes is, so one of the scams that is a very scary one is like the grandparent scam. Mm-hmm. And they actually almost got my grandma on this a number of years ago, where they call up, they like go through the yellow pages and like call up folks and they say, hey, I'm your grandson or granddaughter. I've been in a car accident. I hit somebody and they're suing me, or like there's all different kinds of stories. You need to go get money out and help me like as soon as possible so I can get out of jail. And the grandparent will then go get this money out, and somebody will drive to their house and pick up the cash. And it's like they've caught a bunch of people in the US doing this actually.
Wow.
So these are like US based scammers doing it too. And the crazy part about it now is they're doing like this one's really sick too, to be honest with you. Like it's almost like a hostage. It's really sad. So they will take this is what I'm talking about, like the targeted. It's really sad. So they'll target people. Mm-hmm. They'll find someone on social media, and they will take the like somebody. This is why your kids need to like watch out what you're posting. Like private your dang profiles. So they'll take like the kids' audio from like a video that they post. They'll take that. They'll put it through AI, and then they can use this AI voice changer and talk to like the parent of the victim and say, "Hey, I'm in trouble right now. I'm trapped." Da, 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 and hold this person like hostage.
Bro, there was just a story I just heard about with, crazy enough, in the Ukraine war, the Russia-Ukraine war, where Russia was using this technology to get Ukrainian soldiers, like call them as if they're their family members, convincing them to lay down their weapons and desert the war.
Really?
Yeah. That's crazy. See if you can find that story, Steve.
It's interesting to me because like even they're doing stuff with audio. They're also doing stuff with video. Mm-hmm. So they've even AI'd me. So I've seen videos of these scammers in like Nigeria that pretend to be me. That's why I was asking if you had any scammers that are pretending to be you, because they will AI, like they'll make it. And I'm like, it's like I'm talking,
right?
And I'm like, hey, Brian, this is Pierogi. I need you to send, and it like my face is moving like this and everything. I need you to send $1,200, please. This is not a scam, and it's my voice. So it's the audio of my voice, and it's my face, and it looks like I'm sitting in my office talking to them, like on a FaceTime.
Wow. But does it look a little bit bullshit?
It looks a little bit off.
Right.
Like, but to the person that wants it to be real, it's very real to them. And then all of a sudden they're mad that I've scammed them or something.
Right.
But behind the scenes, it's a guy from Nigeria holding a camera up to him, and then there's like a filter in front of it, and it's crazy what they do, but whatever to make some money.
Dude, yeah, the AI stuff keeps getting better and better.
Yeah.
Have you heard like the podcast? Like they've done AI podcasts with like Joe Rogan interviewing the CEO of Steve Jobs. Mm-hmm. And it's like indistinct. On his voice, it's unbelievable. Yeah. But with Steve Jobs, you can tell they sampled like some of his like talks that he does.
Yeah.
In front of groups of people, so it's like a different kind of cadence. But like, if they could sample anyone else's voice who's talked on a microphone for as long as he has, it's almost indistinguishable.
I think it's cool, like, because there's something to be like from a business standpoint. I think someone could turn this into like memories for like loved ones that maybe someone's passed away a long time ago, and they want a new memory of that person. Right. If that makes sense. Right. Like, hey, like my mom passed away in 2009, and like, oh, it'd be cool to see an AI version
to have conversations with her.
You know how cool that would be? Just to like,
God, that would be scary.
Yeah. But it would be, because you have as time goes, you have like very faint memories unless you keep like watching videos or something. Right, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, and back in my day, all we had was VHS, but so like, we don't have. Yeah. But my point is that it would be really cool to like, even the Steve Jobs thing, because he's passed away, to have like a chance to interact with some of these people. I think that's pretty cool. But obviously too, like after a while it's AI and it's made up, and you can kind of tell it's, not the.
Well, did you see the guy who proposed to the AI and it said yes, and he started crying, tears of joy?
I saw a story about that.
And he's actually still married. He's married. He's got a wife and kids. And they interviewed his wife, and she's just like, I guess I can't do it for him anymore. He just found love in this AI robot. And he's literally like, it was the most terrifying thing. Like when you watch that, it's hard to just not think humanity's fucked.
Yeah, it's because like the AI is too directable, I think, right now. Like you can tell it. I don't know how to describe it. Like you can say, hey, this is your point of view, and this is who you're going to be. And this is how you're going to respond, and this is how you're going to treat me. Like you can like set all these parameters, and these people that are lost and lonely, and they maybe vulnerable, haven't been outside, maybe, they want companionship, whatever it is. And that's going to be a tough place if people are looking for real, like that's what kind of the theme I've been talking about a lot is like real, genuine connection. That's what people want.
Yep.
And
you got to keep that balance. You got to keep one foot in nature. You can't get lost in technology.
The tech dopamine rush, whatever that is not it's not real.
No, man, we're losing people every day.
And think about this. This is the other part. Like we talk about like data collection on people. Imagine what all these AI, you are inputting all these inputs of what you like and all your conversations with it. Think about that from a security standpoint. What happens when a bad nation state or a bad actor has all of your conversations with someone that you're trying to, whatever this guy like propose to or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you have everything on this guy.
Right.
And he thinks he's talking to his fiance.
Oh God.
And he has, it's talking back. What is this? Like, what are all your, I don't know, like just like.
That's why I don't want to drive a Tesla. Because I think it's got to record your conversations you have in there.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Like, I mean, when you're driving on long road trips, conversations you have with people, like if it's recording that and has video of you, like, ugh. And plus they can control it. They can turn your Tesla. Like, I can't imagine that this Tesla stuff won't turn into like, what they're trying to do with those 15-minute cities in the UK where they try to make everything within a certain driving distance. Yeah. You've seen this stuff?
Oh, yeah.
So they can maintain your carbon footprint. They track your carbon footprint so you can't go out. Like, is that what they're going to do with Teslas? I mean, imagine they could definitely do it if they wanted to.
Yeah. It's one thing, you got me thinking about this actually. So with regards to like listening to people's conversations and stuff. So there's software, like back when I worked at Symantec, it's called e-discovery software. I'm sure it's like even crazier now, but you could take like audio recording. So for instance, you work at a call center, like a legit one, not a scam one. And this call is being recorded for quality purposes. And you take all the audio of that and you can turn that into searchable, scannable. I'm sure you know this, but you could like, even like a video, you could rip the audio, right? And you can make a transcript out of it and you could search it. So think about that. If you were recording every phone conversation and let's just say you were China and you had access to telecoms and you were able to possibly record phone calls or get that information and search across it, you could find any kind of information. It's crazy what is searchable. Wow. What you can find, what you can discover from even voice conversations is what I'm getting at.
Right, because you can transcribe it and do a search for specific words, especially if China's selling that telecom technology to the U.S.
Yeah.
And they can get right into it.
And that again, at that point, you're like, what are you going to do? Man?
Right,
like, hand me the Tesla, hand me the Nest, hand me an iPhone, and like let me like.
Yeah, it's like that meme of the guy on the beach trying to squeegee all the water back into the ocean. It's just like, at what point do you just give up?
Yeah,
just like build a boat and sail away.
Again, like I said, like if my number one thing though, man, is like, you can physical hardware and all that stuff. I can't do anything about that. What I can do is like my passwords and like all that. So like people can feel safe if they take care of like good cyber hygiene with that. Like have a bunch of different passwords, protect your email, change stuff up. That'll keep you like really good for a while, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
well, look, bro. It's 5 o'clock. You gotta get to the airport. Thank you so much for coming, man. This has been fucking awesome.
I had a blast. This was really fun, actually, and we got to touch a lot of topics that I didn't even, I thought we were just to do all scams.
Well, we gotta do another one. We gotta do another one with a fully charged laptop, and let's catch some scammers on another podcast.
Yes, we'll catch some scammers, open up their cameras. Maybe do some jump scares. We'll have a good time.
So for people that don't know, he can literally pull up scammers across the country and just tap into their webcam and see what they're doing at any given moment. It's insane.
Yeah, I'll send you some footage and you can show it if you want.
Yeah. We'll do that. Show his YouTube channel and all that stuff. Mainly just YouTube is what you do, right?
Yeah, youtube.com/scammerpayback.
So. You guys publish like every week or every day? Or
Yep, every week. We've also got we have a podcast that one of my guys runs. So pretty much every month we have someone interesting in the cybersecurity space or the tech space. And we just, ask them questions they haven't been asked before. And so we're building that out.
Dude, your thumbnails are incredible. Those podcast thumbnails are sick.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time trying to engage people and make people interested in the stories we want to tell. So we have a good time, man. But we appreciate the chance to be on the podcast and share our perspective and point of view. And scammers were coming after you, by the way. So we ain't letting up. So,
you can run, but you can't hide.
Yeah, we got a song actually. We have an album on Spotify called The Payback, and our main song is The Payback, and the lyrics are "You can't run away, it's too late," and this is The Payback. So they're all like scam related songs, but it's kind of like synth wave, so it's pretty cool if you want to check it out.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, man. Well,
yeah.
cool.
Appreciate
We'll
you,
link it all below. Good night, folks.